Anthony, you've had to make a late change. I know Andrew Quinn is playing.
Yeah, Andrew starts in the right corner, Ger. We hadn't really finalised the team because Barry Nugent picked up an injury on Tuesday night, and he's not 100%, so we're going with Andrew in the corner, even though we hadn't probably finalised anyway. We may have gone for Andrew anyway, or one of the others, but we've decided to go with Andy. He's in great form in training, and he's a bit of experience now as well. He came on as a sub in the 2002 final, so he knows what it's all about up here.
You've got an awful lot of experience of playing in Croke Park. A lot of the players have been here many, many times, so it's nothing new, no great experience for them, no new experience.
Yeah, it doesn't hold any fears for us. We have a good record here, We've won most of the times we've played here since '95, and I think possibly Kilkenny are the only team that's beaten us here. So no, it doesn't hold any. We look forward to it. It's the best place to play. I suppose it's what every young fella dreams about since he's 10 or 12. And why let yourself down then when you get here? I suppose you make the best of it because it goes by so quickly, the 70 minutes.
It's a huge game. You get the semi-final stage. There are no trapdoors or nets, and you either win or lose. And if you lose, you're out, and that's it. Your year is over. So obviously, I'm concerned. It's a huge game for us, and no way out other than winning.
You're unchanged once again. No shortage of advice from those writing in the papers that you should change this and you should change that. Were you tempted?
Were we tempted? Well, not really. I mean, we're the people who are seeing the players are training every night, and we're seeing how they're going and so on. And we've seen them through the bleak nights of last winter and the league matches that not too few turned up to, and so we're happy enough that the 15 we have out are on form, the best 15 available to us.
You're well aware that Clare last year very nearly had the scalp of Kilkenny in the quarter-final of the All-Ireland. They're a team who can really perform on the big occasion.
I'm absolutely very aware of it, John. I spent a lot of last week watching videos of us, I am, of course, and Clare have a very experienced team with a spine down through it that would do any team justice, and I've no doubt that they're going out today, looking themselves as underdogs, saying, one last big hurrah, and we could certainly put off a shock.
Your hopes for Cork?
Well, obviously, I'm hoping they will win. We're very much up to win, and we've trained diligently and professionally, and we're here to win, Joe.
So that is the Cork team, John Allen's Cork team, all set for this All-Ireland semi-final against Clare, and the big game itself is due to start in about 17-18 minutes time. 3:30 is throw-in time, but for the moment let's get the thoughts again on this particular one of Gerald Nan and Cyril Farrell, who are here with me in the studio. The change on the Clare team, I suppose there would be no sort of dramatic news about that really, because that would have been pretty much as we might have expected to happen.
Oh yeah, Andrew Quinn in, because Andrew is on the panel for the last 3 or 4 years now, a very, very experienced player. Barry Nugent is just new coming in, pulled his hamstring, has had difficulty with the hamstring all along for the last 3 or 4 months. Now, the only problem is Barry Nugent is a very strong, very physical player,
yeah.
but Andrew Quinn is a finisher. He's got some good goals for Clare, well able to pick off a point, and that might be needed today, because Clare have plenty of physical forwards. There'll be a good bit of breaking ball, and it's the one that has the most skill and put the ball over the bar, so he might be useful for that. But overall, Clare forward line looks really, really strong, and if they perform, the big question is, will some of the big names perform on a big day like today? Because they have let themselves down on some big occasions before. Now, they played very well the last day, especially in the first half, but today is the day, and today is the test for them.
Well, here indeed come the Clare team, Cyril, and as Joe was saying to us earlier on in the programme, they've got plenty of support of them today, because there will be, if they play up to the form that Joe says, and there will be an expectation that they could do this, obviously.
Yeah, Mike, because after losing the first game against Tip, the bandwagon has started rolling bit by bit, the whole county's come behind them. And going back to the Andrew Quinn, Barry Nugent, to me Barry Nugent is more of a half forward. He prefers outside wing or centre. He has been kind of this hamstring all year, and Andrew Quinn has been going very well in training. As Joe said, he's a more natural corner forward, but Cork are very, very settled. The same 15 as last year, really, and okay, the 2 McCarthy's last year were pretty poor, but usually they bounce back and play well.
Yes.
They play a very good running game. It's up to Clare to stop them.
There's no
to retain the All-Ireland. Very few teams have done that over the past 10 years. We've got Kilkenny probably being the only team to do that, and they proved what a fantastic team they were by doing that. I know we haven't been firing on cylinders yet this year, but hopefully with only 2 games left to go, we can start picking it up, because we need to be at the top of our game to be clear.
If you were to look at it outside, you'd say to yourself, probably Clare having a chance. Cork in the last 2 All-Ireland finals, so they were.
The place, I have some Clare fans, I have some Cork fans with me, and they're nice and noisy and loud. I have John here as a Clare fan. John, Clare fans very, very confident today.
Oh, well, we're reasonably confident. There's no pressure on us. Everyone else in the country is writing us off, so if we're not going to support our own guys, who is? We're in a good position. There's no pressure on us, so it's up to the guys. There's 15 guys in 70 minutes to perform, so hopefully the right results at the end of the day.
And in many respects, that's the situation. That's made for Clare as underdogs.
Oh, it is, yeah. I mean,
on the bar, on the gill.
They've written us. They wrote us off. We're back. We'll see what happens.
All right, John, let's go to Damien and get the Cork view. I see you brought a few friends with you. How are Cork going to do today? Big favourites.
Big favourites, yeah. I'd say we'll win it 5 points easy. Clare wouldn't win an argument.
There could be a big argument, though.
I wouldn't think so. So Sean O'G will clean up in the half-back lane. So there's no one. Who do Clare have? Has-beens.
Well done, Damien. Thanks very much. That's the view from out here. We'll be back after the break.
For 2 people. To enter, just select your man of the match from today's game and call the numbers on your screen, or you can text MATCH followed by your selection to 57111. If your selection matches that of the panel, then you could of course be in with a chance to win this excellent prize. The winner will be announced on tonight's Sunday game. Very best of luck with that. Coming close to throw-in time here between Clare and Cork. Final thoughts from Cyril and from Ger. Ger, first, talk me through the first 10 or 15 minutes of this game. How do you see it panning out?
Well, I see the Cork will come out and they'll try and stretch Clare. You know, they'll try and keep their wing forwards away out to the wing, even Niall McCarthy running out to the wing to leave a gap down the centre. If Cork can do that, and if they can stretch Clare, and if they can take advantage of the one fault in the Clare team, which may be a lack of pace, then Clare could be in trouble. But I expect Clare to come out with all guns blazing, play a real high-tempo game, a real Jack Charlton, put them under pressure style there from 1 to 15. When Clare do that, coupled with an intelligent approach, they're very difficult to beat. And I would give them a chance of beating anybody when they play with that kind of fire and passion. I give Clare a great chance in this game.
They have a great chance, Cyril, but Cork are not unaware of the way Clare are going to play this thing, obviously. How will they counteract it?
See, Michael, it's 2 different mindsets. Even if you listen to the site going into the game, Cork are going out to play their own game. Not worried about anyone else, to try to get their own game going. Clare will try to upset Cork, get stuck into them immediately, and as Gerard says, real intense and put pressure on them straight away. Now, definitely the Cork forwards, the last, even though they got nice scores, were under pressure. They weren't flying at all in the half forward. They have Kieran Murphy going out there wing forward. I expect him to go back in Cork and Ben O'Connor going out again. But where the Cork engine is a half-back line midfield, Kenny and O'Connor midfield, and Garner, Curran and O'Halpin in the half-back line. Now, they're talking about Curran having a bad game, but that's what he did, but he could have a brilliant game. Now, it's up to the Clare guys in the half-forward line. Now, McMahon is having a great season for him. Even though he's not really a wing forward, he's good under the high ball. He prefers to be centre-back in midfield, good under the high ball, getting a few scores and getting it in. Carmody had a great game the last day, and Mark. These are physically strong, and if Gilligan can have a right good game, you could have Clare really cause an upset. But just still, it's very hard to see go past Cork because they are the Munster champions and they are the All-Ireland champions, and they've been around a good while, and if things flow to the normal pattern, they're good at getting their scores.
Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. It's time now to join our commentators for the big game. That's Tomás Mulcahy and first, Ger Canning.
Thank you very much indeed, Michael. Yes, this is the 5th championship meeting of these 2 counties since Clare's great breakthrough year back in 1995, and as luck would have it, they've each won on 2 occasions in the intervening years. Clare's last victory was in 1998, and of course Cork were victorious last just 2 years ago. As we take a check on the 2 teams, starting with Clare, and the Banner are making one change from their last game, the quarter-final victory over Wexford. Andrew Quinn replaces Barry Nugent at top of the right. It means that 13 of the 15 that started the championship in June are still very much key men. David Hoey, who missed the Tipperary game, is now back at right half in a reunion of the 2002 All-Ireland final half-back line. Brian O'Connell and Colin Lynch are in midfield for a 4th game together, while centre-forward Tony Carmody is enjoying a very good spell on the 40. Well, not unexpectedly, Cork selectors make no changes from the team that started the last 2 matches. Indeed, Pat Mulcahy for Wayne Sherlock is the only change from last year's All-Ireland winning combination. Diarmuid O'Sullivan starts his 30th championship game, while in the half-forward line, Niall McCarthy and Timmy McCarthy continue to enjoy management confidence in spite of being withdrawn during the second half with Waterford. So the ingredients are there for what should be a stirring contest, and we'll be back with you very shortly. We're going to
stand to attention, I suppose, during this stage for Ronald, yeah.
It's got to be Clare to play from left to right to Moss. So just want to hear your views. How do you think it's going to go?
Well, I think Cork can win this match. I mean, it's been spoken about all week. I mean, if they get a good return out of the half-hour line, who haven't produced the goods year to date, and some intriguing battles. Look at this man in our picture here, Brian Lohan. I mean, if he's down in the mid against Brian Corcoran. I mean, Brian has been the star performer in the last 2 matches for Cork, and I mean, it's an intriguing, fascinating duel.
Match is underway, and it's Clare who have whatever light breeze there is supporting them for the opening 35 minutes. And straight away here they are defending with Jerry O'Grady trying to get the ball away out into the centre. Colin Lynch sweeping it way down. Donal O'Cusack coming from his goal. Secure, doing a quick turn around, linking up with the 2/3 of the full back line. That's Brian Murphy, hot to handle. And there was an early pull there, a jersey pull indeed by David Hoey on his man being Timmy McCarthy. So Dickie Murphy, who has, of course, refereed 4 All-Ireland senior finals, wasn't involved for the last 2 years because he was a selector with the Wexford senior hurlers. Good to see him back, that familiar smile.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. And Anthony Daly down in front of us there was screaming with Brian Murphy coming out that maybe he had fouled the ball, but I don't think he did that. I mean, it was like a hot potato in his hand there. I mean, the start of the match.
This is John Gardner. 70 metres out, gone to the right. First opportunity, gone a begging. John playing in his 17th championship match. Davy Fitz thinking about a quick puck out. The puck outs are going to be very interesting this afternoon. Keep a really good eye on them. We know all about Cork's penchant for taking short or deliberate puck outs and then building in measured fashion. Well, Clare have been studying this very carefully all through the summer. Let's see what they can do. Straight down the middle towards their centre forward, Tony Carmody. But it's won there instead by Jerry O'Connor, who went deep. O'Connor challenging Colin Lynch, beaten. Lynch has it, 70 metres out. Going for the opening score. Again, it's tailing to the right. A wide apiece.
Yeah, but it was very evident from the puck out. David Fitz was straight down on top of Ronan Kern, and Ronan had a difficulty the last day against Waterford with Seamus Prendergast, and I'm sure Anthony Daly are going to use that tactic as well, put the pressure on Ronan Kern certainly, and Dermot McMahon was very, very efficient the last day as well, got 4 points from play, a big man around the half hour, so a lot of ball will go down top of those guys.
And this is Cork's puck out, and it's mopped up here by Colin Lynch. His second shot, it's gone to the right again. The goalkeepers are so interesting in the modern game of hurling. It just goes to show you how the sport has evolved over the years.
Yeah,
it's
but
not just a case of shot stopping and then tucking it out as long as you can go.
But there are times though, I mean, when you must deliver the ball long. I mean, Cork have had problems, there's no doubt about that. I mean, the short puck out has caused problems for them as well. I mean, it has been very effective when it came into being first. But I mean, most teams have copped onto it now and they've picked up the loose man around the half back line or in the full back line, and we've been forced to hit the ball long, and we haven't Cork haven't had great ball winners in the half forward line.
John Gardner's winning this one. Down towards Brian Corcoran, waiting for it there. He runs away from him. Jerry Quinn, one of the best defensive covering players that Clare have got this year. They were trying to make some headway over there. And that is Brian O'Connell who's down there. Not the best for wear. John Gardner was spoken to by the referee.
Yeah, you know, watch it here again. Look, it is body charge straight into the midriff really, and there's no doubt about it. It is a free in for Clare.
It has to be a absolutely perfectly executed side-to-side charge as the rule book words it. Most people talk in terms of a shoulder. So Niall Gilligan coming out to take this free, looking for the opening point of the match. Gilligan playing in his 39th championship game, 29 points so far in 5 games this summer for a Clare team who must be confident on the back of 2 good wins over Waterford and Wexford. It's a dangerous ball in. Ball's back down here. Dermot McMahon, 20 metres out, half blocked. Still around there, dangerous. And Tony Carmody hits it and puts it over the bar. The opening point comes after nearly 4 minutes of play. A lot of dominance from Clare. They've won a lot of good early ball, and finally they managed to get something out of the possession. Tony Carmody here at the end of this movement, left alone, just given enough latitude. Good score. The puck out is a long one. Brian Lohan there contesting with Brian Corcoran. Niall McCarthy dodging this way and that. Taking over is Jerry O'Connor, 45 metres out from goal. That's over the bar. Good score by Jerry. Cork will be hoping to dominate the midfield exchanges with their duo in there for the last couple of years, Tom Kenny and Jerry O'Connor, known in Cork as the Tom and Jerry Show.
Yeah, it was a great score, but very interesting there. The long ball, that was the ball was going out to Brian Corcoran. I mean, to come out maybe out to the 40 for the puck outs, and the breaking ball then was won by Niall McCarthy and set up onto Jerry O'Connor for a good score.
Davy Fitzgerald varying the puck out this time, out towards Markham, runs beyond him, all the way in towards Niall Gilligan, looking for a really big match this afternoon, taking on Pat Mulcahy. Back there as well to try and help out is Ben O'Connor. Runs loose towards Tony Griffin. The much-travelled Tony having a shot and putting it over the bar. Great point by Tony Griffin. Man who has spent so much of the winter studying in Canada. And he's put Clare back in front here again. Took Dermot O'Sullivan this way and that, beat him to the block and got that ball over the bar. 2-1. Clare leading. Referee wants to have a little word with Niall McCarthy and with Sean McMahon. Centre forward, centre back. So Donald O'Cusack from Cloyne, birthplace of Christy Ring, of course, and we've had the Christy Ring Cup played already in exciting fashion here and won by Westmeath. Brian Murphy dithers somewhat, but is assisted. Ball away, out of danger. Tom Kenny getting back onto it again. The little hand pass inside to Timmy McCarthy, beating the attempted block there. Sean McMahon, the huge one. It's a good one. It's over the bar. Timmy McCarthy from Castellions, tying it up at 2 points apiece. This was a very good score. Made for him there by Tom Kenny onto Timmy McCarthy, and he had the confidence and the courage to go for it. Great point.
Good boost for Timmy and a good start for him, and he's shipped an awful lot of criticism now the last couple of games, and certainly it was one that he wanted to boost his own confidence as well, and a great ball inside by Tom Kenny.
This time off the legs of Dermot McMahon. Picking it up is Colin Lynch of Clare, the Lizzie Casey man. Good ball inside. He was spotting Tony Griffin, was inside the cover, never quite reached him. Nicely away by John Gardner, back helping out. Sean O'Halpy now, the Cork captain, switching it across here, intended for Kieran Murphy, and Kieran couldn't quite reach it. That's a switch of play today by Cork. Kieran Murphy at wing forward, Ben O'Connor into the corner. That was the move, the tactical move, although I noticed that Ben has switched around, and he's now out around midfield. In fact, right now he's marking Brian O'Connell. Frank Lohan ready to take this sideline cut. Alan Markham, goal scorer the last day, 2 goals in the previous match against Waterford. Jerry O'Connor now steadying himself. Beautiful ball down towards Brian Corcoran, just got away from his man Brian Lohan. Covered the move, however, trying to force him out into the corner. Jersey pull, referee says play on. Corcoran does. Awkward angle, just a little bit too tricky. And Davy Fitzgerald there, you can see him in picture, urging on Brian Lohan not to be outfoxed by Brian Corcoran when Corcoran makes those kind of dangerous runs. 2 wides by Cork. Plenty of movement by forwards on both teams, trying to outfox the defenders early on. Game still at the settling down stage. O'Halpy lets it drop down, tries to take it at the second attempt, fails to do so. Dermot McMahon, who's having a good season, beaten for it by Jerry O'Connor, who started really well in midfield. He's the dominant character there so far. Frank Lohan over there arguing the point. Brian Corcoran over as well with Ben O'Connor. Line ball into Colin Lynch. Lynch lets fly, and he's put it wide. A lot of wayward shooting now by Clare. That's 3 wides by them from situations where they might well have got more scores. And all those 3 wides, by the way, are by the midfielder Colin Lynch.
Yeah, he has had a lot of possession, George, certainly in the first couple of minutes there, but it's wayward shooting, and maybe he might be better off putting the inside forwards, trying to get him back into play by putting the ball in around the square.
Niall McCarthy trying to establish mastery in the 40. Timmy McCarthy after this one. Brian Corcoran there as well, looking for assistance. Inside to Joe Dean. Corcoran's available still, just yards from him. Another option taken up. It's Ronan Curran beats the block there of Colin Lynch into the corner. Taking it up there is, and missing it, Frank Lohan, wearing number 2, helped out there by Sean McMahon. Chasing after him is Kieran Murphy. They get the ball away downfield into the centre. Ronan Curran again makes a very good catch here. Started well against Waterford and then got into difficulty. Curran available once again, taking it up onto the stick, beating Tony Carmody to it. Jerry O'Connor is available to help out. Here comes Sean O'Halpine. He's 45 metres out. O'Halpine has scored the last day, looking for another one, and O'Halpine has got 2 points in 2 games. Not half bad for a number 7 who had never scored before this year's championship. He's getting the taste for forward play.
Yeah, and again, it was great play again by Ronan Curran again to get possession and to use the hand pass. And I mean, it's very evident. I mean, a great running forward by Cork, and I'm sure that's what they're going to try to do against Clare, is when they're in possession, get the runners going, get running at that Clare defence and try and open them up and open up the gaps there, because they feel they have the legs on Clare. But Clare have started very, very well as well. And I mean, the wayward shooting, maybe they could have been maybe 1 or 2 points ahead.
Here's Tony Griffin outside to Alan Markham. Cork leading for the first time. That's blocked well by Donald O'Cusack outside to O'Sullivan. Balanced beautifully there and whipped away out of danger by Pat Mulcahy. Down towards Ben O'Connor, who's playing at right half forward in spite of the number 13 on his back. Here comes Jerry Quinn, the left half for Clare. 3 Cork men around him, make it 4. In the end, sheer force of numbers gets the ball back. Tom Kenny sweeping it down, put the pressure there on Brian Lohan. Picking it up here is Niall McCarthy. There's great pace in the match. 3 to Cork. They're all really fired up in this Guinness All-Ireland hurling semi-final.
Yeah, and you look at Markham here. I mean, I think he should put the ball over the bar, being honest with you, when he got that chance. I mean, it's early stage in the game, and it was a difficult angle to try and beat Donald Cusack from that point. And it's an opportunity now for Ben O'Connor here to give Cork another point on the board and put them 2 points ahead.
I think Alan Markham was thinking, last 2 games I've got 3 goals.
Yeah, I mean, he was much closer to goal there than in those previous occasions than he was now.
Ben O'Connor with the free. Tie, and it's accurate. First of the day landed by Ben O'Connor, and Cork lead by 4 points to 2. Very mild day here in Dublin. No cold, perfect afternoon for hurling. On a busy weekend once again in the GAA Championship calendar. This is aimed towards Alan Markham, dropped by John Gardner. Going in there to try and help out was Pat Mulcahy. Under pressure, the Cork backs. Markham offloading it there beautifully to Niall Gilligan, running at Sullivan. Awkward angle. Brian Murphy going back. So too is Andrew Quinn. It's Quinn who has the best chance of taking it. Trying to open up the play. That's a great ball for Diarmuid McMahon, but he was trapped inside. There was a push, and it's going to be a free into Clare. The covering back there was done by Tom Kenny, but the push results in a free from the 20-metre line, and Niall Gilligan has this fairly simple routine chance to tap it over the bar.
Yeah, and it's quite evident as well that Niall has played a lot out from goal as well. He's trying to move Diarmuid O'Sullivan way out from the square as well. When he gets that ball, he's way on the left-hand side, and it's a great crossfield ball, and he'll be trying to move the big man from the square and gain possession, try and get a few scores further out.
Well, both full forwards are trying much the same thing, as Gilligan hits it high up into the netting behind the goal, but accurately between the posts. His first of the afternoon, and it's Cork 4 points, Clare 3. Niall from the famous 6 Mile Bridge Club produced so many great hurlers for Clare teams down the years. This is Anthony Daly, and who captained Clare to 2 All-Ireland successes during the 90s. The battle in the middle of the field. Jerry Quinn coming forward from left half, blocked down well. Once again, Kieran Murphy trying to get tight on him, didn't succeed that time. That's Pat Mulcahy having a great game once again. Sean O'Halpine going forward with great determination, partly blocked however. It falls to Tony Griffin. Chance to have a quick look up to see who's around. Going for the score. It's a difficult one. He's just miscued it.
Yeah, but you give credit to Clare. They're working very, very hard when they don't have the ball there. Sean O'Halpine maybe felt he had plenty of time and space to get away with his clearance, but he was blocked and hooped.
Here's Timmy McCarthy doing well to win the puck out here. He wins a lot of puck outs if you go back through the tapes over the last number of years. Didn't use it well there. Here's Colin Lynch. Nobody closing him down. Dropped beautifully forward towards Gilligan. Comes way off, full forward once again. Batted out by O'Sullivan. Jerry O'Connor trying to take it up into his stick. It comes instead here to Andrew Quinn. Going left. Keeper has a chance to counter-attack here. Donald O'Cusack able to pick out a man. Going towards Kieran Murphy this time. Tapped it down for Tom Kenny. Little bit of a gap in front of him now. Inside towards Brian Corcoran. Didn't quite make it. Second time of asking. Picked up here by a Clare defender. It's Brian O'Connell his way back there helping out. Here comes Andrew Quinn on his left-hand side, going for a score. Again, he's missed it. And the Clare shooting is not good. Only 15 minutes gone, and they have 5 wide.
Yeah, they're getting plenty of possession. I'm sure Anthony Dale will be furious down there. They've gone on to great ball, breaking ball. They've been very quick to react, and certainly they should be ahead at this stage of the game because, I mean, they've had excellent scoring opportunities, and that's one that we just saw that went badly wide.
Tell you what, all those who said Cork were going to just get through this fairly straightforwardly and easily, it's anything but a cakewalk. It shouldn't be when it comes to the semi-final of the championship anyway. You expect to have 4 evenly or fairly evenly matched teams.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, the way this game has started, I mean, there's great contest out there. It's hard, it's fair. I mean, it's everything good about an All-Ireland semi-final, and that's what the general public looking in it will want to see as well.
Colin Lynch, great cut up. Inside there towards Tony Griffin, breaks down here well. Gilligan once again pressurised by Jerry O'Connor. Seemed to go off O'Connor, it did. It's the first 65 of the afternoon. Lots and lots of Clare pressure. They're grouping well as a team, and they are constantly making it hard for Cork to try and get the running game going, to get their passing on target. Just trying to unnerve them as much as they can. So Sean McMahon will be the taker of this 65. Player who has the ability, when he puts balls over the bar from distance, to lift the crowd and lift his own team. 84 points is his tally in 45 championship matches so far. This is 45th. Now where's that going to end? It's over the bar. It's a big lift for Clare. It's a big score for Sean McMahon from the 65, and it's 4 points apiece, level for the second time. Cat and mouse at times. Tactics brilliantly employed by the coaches, studied and known by the players. Everybody trying to steal a march on the opposition. Good catch by Jerry Quinn, and if much of the ball comes down his direction, he'll dominate. He's that kind of player. This is Brian Murphy from Bride Rovers in Rathcormac, up here as far as Niall McCarthy, going left and right, trying to take Sean McMahon out of position and doing what I think was anticipated before the game, trying to open the gap, a channel for Cork to run the game right through the centre.
Yeah, but it's very noticeable as well, Jordo, when we haven't been able to use the sharp, or Cork haven't been able to use the sharp puck out. I mean, when they're hitting it long, I mean, that the Clare backline are very, very dominant, the half backline particularly. I mean, Andrew Quinn, or Jerry Quinn has started the game very, very well over left half back as well, and with Johnny McMahon and David Hoy, they have a very formidable partnership, and I mean, it's going to be in that line. I mean, I think Cork will have to break down.
2 great half back lines as John Gardner strikes, and John Gardner scores. First pointed free for John Gardner. Struck 3 great points against Waterford, and it's 5 points to 4. It's settling down into the makings of a right good contest. Davy Fitzgerald. Dermot McMahon drifting in after this one, hoping for a break, but it's his man, Sean O'Halpine, who followed back very deliberately. Took good possession. Jerry O'Connor back there to help out. O'Halpine almost getting lost, does get lost. And Alan Markham dragged down, free in. Chance for Clare to draw level. An occasion where Cork might have got the ball away with simple, more effective hurling. And sometimes that short passing game gets very much unstuck.
And you give credit to Clare, Ger. I mean, every time the Cork get the ball, I mean, there's men outside them, and they're electing to go the short route rather than hit the ball long. And Sean Hall certainly had time in his hands to clear the ball down the field, and he elected not to do so. And the short hand pass was intercepted. And the Clare guys are working very, very hard when they don't have possession.
Clare gaining in confidence the whole time. 1 point so far for Niall Gilligan from a free. And this is a second, and it's 5 points apiece. 2 from 2 for Niall Gilligan. Fascinating tie. Place in the All-Ireland final on that second Sunday in September at stake. Second semi-final coming up next Sunday, of course. Kilkenny against Galway. Well, Cork standing back and allowing Frank Lohan to come across, but he stumbles. And the referee is in just as Jerry O'Grady was taking the ball away. Going to be a free to Cork, a trip, I think. Free to Clare, I should say.
It's free to Clare, Jerry, yeah. And I mean, Cork are at 6 and 7 there. Nobody willing to come and actually meet the ball that was breaking down the centre, and everybody seemed to be leaving it for somebody else. And this is one that's going to be launched by Davy, I'm sure, at the edge of the square.
Interesting how Kieran Murphy, Brian Corker and Joe Dean, who are playing full forward for Cork, not one of them has had a shot on the Clare goal so far after 20 minutes of play. Here's Tony Griffin, meanwhile. He's had shots. He's got a point. It's a second. And Clare lead once again, 6-5. They're happy. Well, they might be. It's a very effective game plan that they're implementing. And they're spotting how Cork can be vulnerable.
Well, it's a simple game plan. I mean, there's no magic about it. I mean, it's simple in the game of hurling. I mean, you stop your guy with your opponent when he has possession, you work your socks off, and Clare are doing that much better at the moment than Cork.
That's Brian O'Connell. It's a huge ball down. Should favour O'Sullivan, leaving it, yes, in the end, letting it go by for a puck out. Interesting Cork this year. Played some wonderful hurling in the opening half of the Munster final against Tipperary. Won but didn't play brilliantly against Waterford up to the time that Brian Corcoran got that all-important late goal. And they're not playing particularly brilliantly this afternoon.
No, it's certainly not. And I mean, the inside line, certainly, I mean, the quality that's in there, Joe Dean, Brian Corcoran and Ben O'Connor, you'd like to get ball in there as quickly as possible, and even into Kieran Murphy. But I mean, it's been held up outside, and there's no ball being pulled on the ground. It's all running with it.
Here's Kenny. Through the middle once again, Tom Kenny. It opens up for him, and it's saved brilliantly by Davy Fitzgerald. A wonderful piece of goalkeeping. It should have been buried. There was a support player there, Joe Dean, but Tom Kenny went through. The connection wasn't the greatest, but credit the goalkeeper. Good save.
But it's a fantastic save. I mean, if we see this again, it is brilliant because the ball actually just bounces just in front of him and he gets the touch to hurling, and I mean, it's knocked out for a 65. Fantastic save and a great run again by Tom Kenny.
Well, he's been a hero for so many years. Davy Fitzgerald made his debut against Limerick in 1990, came straight out of minor the previous year. Clare and Offaly had a terrific minor battle, I remember. There's a blood substitution that'll be needed. David Hoey going off. Thora Quinn, the doctor, attending to him. Coming in is Conor Plunkett, by the way, while the stricken player is attended to. Meanwhile, there's a 65 following Davy Fitzgerald's heroics. Then O'Connor to take the 65. Where Cork might have had a goal, they'll be content with a point now. From this 65, dropping to the right, and it's dropped wide. That was a great save. That's the way Clare will look at it. Cork will feel it should have been buried. On such saves can games turn, even at this early stage.
Yeah, when Tom Kenny was running through that time there, I thought he was only going to elect to put the ball over the bar, but I mean, he elected to hit the shot. It wasn't the greatest power in it, but I mean, the enormity of the save was when the ball bounced, he actually got the touch to it, because it easily would have slipped over the hurley.
Dermot McMahon His physical presence is causing difficulties for Sean O'Halpine. He's a strong man. Here's Pat Mulcahy, one of the best right cornerbacks in the game this season. He took too many steps there, and it's going to be a free in. He can argue as much as he wants, but Dickie Murphy is the official in charge. It's Dickie's call.
Yeah, it's a correct call, Gerald, there's no doubt about it. I mean, again, it's part of the game plan with Clare, as I said. I mean, to don't let your man out to get an easy clearance and to block the hand pass if he's attempting to block it, and it's working fantastically well. And I mean, we saw how effective it was against Wexford the last time with Clare. Their full forward line were working very, very, very hard.
David Hoey is back in, and so Conor Plunkett, the temporary substitute, is replaced. Meanwhile, all eyes on Niall Gilligan, just outside the 45-metre line, straight in front of the post. Routine by his standards. It's a third. His eye is in, his accuracy is very assured, he looks confident, and Clare lead by 7 points to 5. Donald O'Cusack bearing the puck out again, going to the left this time. Jerry O'Connor there to take. Down towards Brian Corcoran, ready to try and take on his man. Who's the other Brian Lohan. And Brian Lohan gets in his stick, makes the clearance, it's effective, and it keeps Brian Corcoran at bay. Just winning those little duels is so important to build up the confidence. Well, it's been a long time since Cork's last score. It was in the 16th minute. So we're looking at something approaching 9 minutes. Sideline cut here by Ben O'Connor. That's over. He's a wonderful exponent of that art, and it's a second point for Ben O'Connor. The first coming from a conventional free. And it's 7 points to 6. Little between the teams. Clare edging it. John Allen happy, or at least happier. And John's brother Jerry, I'm told, is watching it in Toronto, and he's been responsible for feeding this Cork team. He's a hotelier down south. There's Diarmuid McMahon. His striking of the ball has got much, much better this summer. Link play is good. Markham over. It's Andrew Quinn indeed, who was up in support, coming in on the side where Alan Markham had been playing, and that's his first point, and Clare lead by 2 points to 1. But good vision by Diarmuid McMahon to pick out the man with the blue helmet, and it's over the bar.
Yeah, and I know it came from the puck out again, having a big man in a crucial position. Diarmuid McMahon fed it off very, very well to Andrew Quinn.
Lynch blocks it down. Sean McMahon coming into the centre of the field because Niall McCarthy's drifted into that sector as well. O'Halpine's in there challenging. Ben O'Connor's in challenging. The referee might throw the ball in to end the uncertainty. There should be just 2 in to contest this. The 2 number 9s, Jerry O'Connor, Colin Lynch of Clare on the left. Lynch trying to roll it up onto the stick. Finally, the stalemate is broken up. McMahon trying to get it forward. Ben O'Connor trying to win possession. In the end, it is Ronan Curran. Back to Pat Mulcahy. Trying to pick out Brian Corcoran. Now he's managed to get inside Brian Lohan, but into the corner. Frank Lohan's over there to help his brother if he needs it. It wasn't a good ball in, and it's Brian Lohan once again. Listen to the crowd, listen to the Clare supporters cheering on his every move. And it went off a Cork player, and it's a Clare line ball, and everybody's trying to gee up the bannermen, starting with their goalkeeper, saluting Brian Lohan. Sheer effort and sheer determination, but it's a 70-minute game and a long, long way yet before the resolution of this tie. David Hoey cutting it up. Runs all the way through. Diarmuid O'Sullivan's back there, challenged and pressurised by Niall Gilligan. Andrew Quinn's over there as well. His man has got across to join him, Brian Murphy. Referee might have to blow it up again. He doesn't, and it's out over the sideline anyway. It's one of the best efforts of Tony Griffin. Funny little piece on the programme today. The GAA president, Sean Kelly, always shows his quirky sense of humour. He's talking about Tony Griffin and saying he's noted recently in a paper that he's thinking about getting married. and he's looking at a Canadian woman, maybe. I was talking to Tony earlier about it, and he was just saying to me, he noted it as well, but Sean Kelly's line is, he's too young to marry, should be 30 to marry at least, and he's thinking of bringing a motion before next year's Congress. GAA players shouldn't marry before the age of 30. Here's Tony Griffin. Oh, that's gone wide. (8-6). Still Clare lead. Donald Cusack. Jerry Quinn has followed Ben O'Connor across to the near side of the field, and a switch in the Cork forward line. This ball runs up here. Andrew Quinn once again, now he's back at top of the right. Donald Cusack again, a quick look around. The ball is dropped short to the Cork goalkeeper a number of times. Clare won't be too pleased with that. Timmy McCarthy's jersey was pulled initially, but it goes back there as far as Tony Carmody from a huge distance, and it's over the bar. Great point by Carmody. Oh, he was a good 55 metres out that time. Cork go with the short puck out again to Ronan Curran. Clare by 3 points. Pressure once again on Brian Lohan, enjoying himself down there in the battle of the Bryans. Brian Corcoran slips, and Brian Lohan gets the ball away into the middle of the field. Batted back down by Tom Kenny, down as far as Niall McCarthy. Quick little look up, his side 3 points behind. High ball in, going to the right, difficult to keep in play, in fact impossible. But it's the Clare fans who have enjoyed the opening 30 minutes.
Yeah, big Clare crowd here today, Joran. They're certainly up for it, and they're getting great inspiration from the team out in the field as well, because they're working very, very hard, and they get the points to tally up on it as well. And it's clear indication down there that Cork are struggling big time from their puck out. I mean, every time that Donald Cusack has got the ball, I mean, it's come down, and Clare are dominating in that half-back line. And the likes of Joe Dean, we haven't seen him in the first half. There's no ball gone inside, and Brian Corcoran getting possession. It's nearly out toward the corner flag where he has to go for the ball. And I mean, certainly Cork won't win a match on that on a performance at the moment.
This time it's Alan Markham who wins it from the puck out to Tony Griffin as well, who apart from a great hurler is a wonderful athlete. That one is going to the right. Missed opportunity. 2 points so far for Tony Griffin. But all of the inside forward line for Clare has got onto the score sheet so far. Referee having words there with Diarmuid McMahon, just warning him about something that's going on, which he's noted. Anthony Daly urging on his team. We got a glimpse there a little while ago of John Allen having words with Ger Cunningham, trying to hatch up a plan to see how they can counteract what Clare are doing. Sean McMahon broken down. Colin Lynch. Little push that time by Dermot O'Sullivan. He gets away with it to John Gardner on his left-hand side towards Kieran Murphy. Runs on here into the corner. Back there to help out is Frank Lohan for Clare. Wearing number 2, playing it left corner back as he's done for most of his career. John Gardner, the wing back for Cork, swung around that time by Alan Markham. Free to Cork. Well, we know what Clare are doing. They're doing the right thing from their point of view, and they're winning by 3. What should Cork be doing?
Well, certainly, I mean, like when you're struggling underneath the puck, maybe bringing Brian Corcoran out there just for maybe 5 or 10 minutes out to centre forward, try and win possession and try and get themselves back into the game. I mean, Cork are conceding too much ball to Clare altogether, and like Clare have their homework done. As I said, I mean, they're working very, very hard. And I mean, we spoke about it before the game. I mean, if Cork don't win at half-hour line, it's very hard to get ball inside, and we're struggling there at the moment.
All right, well, Cork still trying to come forward with Kieran Murphy here, trying to lower the gap. He's succeeded. His first point of the match. Kieran Murphy from the Sarsfields Club in Glanmire, making it 9 points to 7. Getting by David Hoey. There was an earlier block there by Colin Lynch, but it went unrewarded, and Cork getting within 2 points of Clare. David Fitzgerald just taking his time with those puckouts, trying to measure it accurately. John Gardner reading the signals. Held up, it's going to be a free down for Cork. Mention of frees. Clare have not conceded any free to Cork in and around, say, the 45-metre zone. And that's why Joe Dean has been on the score sheet.
Well, that's it, and I mean, it's good discipline.
One of the reasons.
It's good discipline by Clare themselves, and I mean, they have moved Joe out from the corner into full forward just to see would Brian Lohan stay with Joe, but Brian is... His job today is to pick up Brian Corcoran, and he's gone out right corner back on top of Brian Corcoran.
So game plan working successfully so far. I was talking with a number of Clare people before this game, and they were saying yes, they expected a big first half performance from their team, but will they be able to sustain it? John Gardner, huge one in, right into the teeth of that full back line, and again it is Brian Lohan. He's been doing all through his career since his debut back in 1993 as a senior player. And there are too many steps taken. Some of the Cork players are protesting. Referee doesn't agree. Line ball given to Clare, and Clare get the ball way out of danger, up towards Tony Griffin. 1 minute of added time to be played, trying to go by Pat Mulcahy. Cork trying to stand firm. Down behind the goal is Cork's coach and manager John Allen. Just trying to get things going. That's the side where Cork are attacking down by Hill 16. So into the final half minute of the actual 35 minutes of play. Sean McMahon, a great ball ahead. Dermot McMahon, his cousin, managed to get inside. O'Halpine tries to slow his progress. Referee allowed an advantage and runs loose into Donald O'Kilsack. And he manages to get the ball out as far as John Gardner. There was a great chance there for Clare and for Dermot McMahon. In the end, the clearance is by Brian Murphy. Into the centre, Colin Lynch. Always so determined, head down, quick look around every so often to see what's running and what's moving. They're all after him, 4 players. How many steps is he going to take? In the end, he's won himself a free in because the ball was on the stick for most of the time. Great play by Colin Lynch.
No, I think the referee's given a free out, Gerard. I think he's given a free out for over carrying the ball, yeah.
It was some run by Lynch.
It was some run, I think, but I mean, there was more than the 3 steps, definitely, and I think the referee is right, yeah, it is a free out.
Let's have a look at it again here, if we can. The ball was on the stick for quite a bit of the time. I did think he was over-carrying when he got it back into his hand. Now there he is running, yeah, too many steps. Just about.
Just about. I mean, I've seen many players get away with it. I mean, it's a bit harsh, I suppose. I mean, in a lot of games you see player taking more than the 3 steps, and he's been penalised there, and most people in Clare, I suppose, would have felt that should have been a free in.
Clare are leading this match. They're leading it by 9 points to 7 in stoppage time. Clare have made more chances as well. 19 chances against 12 for Cork. In a game which has so far failed to produce a goal, but one great piece of goalkeeping. David Hoey. Referees whistle, the final whistle of the first half. Clare will be much happier going in at the break. They played to a game plan, and in David Fitzgerald they've had an inspired leader. A wonderful save from Tom Kenny midway through the first half. Anthony Daly will be saluting Brian Lohan's energy and resolve and the great leadership he has given the team in the opening 35-36 minutes. There are just a couple of points between the teams, but Cork appreciate that they have an awful lot to do to really challenge and to threaten this Clare team, who are leading at the break by 9 points to 7. So the crowd here just easing into the half-time break, and it was a game which provided a lot of excitement, quite a few great moments as well, and I'm sure plenty to talk about as we go down and join Darragh Maloney.
Father Harry Bowen of Clare, your thoughts at half-time? You must be happy with the way it's developing.
Yeah, we're happy enough the way we're playing, but I'd be very disappointed we've created a lot of chances. I'd say I felt we should be 5 or 6 points up at this stage, but we're playing well, and but we have to take our chances, and there's only 35 minutes gone.
Father Harry, thank you. Fred Sheedy is Cork selector. Fred, your thoughts at half-time? Are you concerned?
I'm very concerned because we're not picking up the broken ball at all. They're getting all the breaks around the middle of the field. And I think like until such time as we get in about it and get in on top of them and put good delivery into our forward line, that we're going to be in trouble.
Fred, thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been good stuff for that first 35 minutes of hurling in this All-Ireland semi-final. The advantage with Clare. Have the All-Ireland champions a response? That's the way things stand then. Words from our panel in just a few minutes' time. First, we're going to take a short break. This year's All-Ireland hurling semi-finalists, Clare leading Cork by 9 points to 7. Cyril Farland, Ger Loughnane here with me in studio, of course. And Ger, you have to be happy with the way that went so far. I know a lot of possession spilled, but nonetheless 2 points up in the All-Ireland semi-final.
2 points up, but we should be more ahead. Clare should be more ahead, really. All the faults we mentioned about Cork before the game, that half-forward line, that midfielders not held to win ball. They're not held to win their own ball, not to mention the opposition ball. And more still, they're winning none of the breaking ball. Clare are just cleaning them out at midfield and the half-forward line and driving forward. And then any ball that goes into the Clare full-back line, the Sheriff is inside, and he's a rejuvenated man. He's a new man. He's cleaning up inside full-back. Now, they have changed Corcoran off him because Corcoran wasn't fast enough for him, but it's the real Clare display today, you know, the real fire and passion.
What you were hoping for.
Exactly. Just exactly the way that when Clare play like that, as I said, that they're always a match for any opposition. Now, we should be further ahead, although we have got some great points from Clare. Everything they're doing it right. They're switching the forwards around, they're moving around, they're keeping the Cork backs guessing. It's the first time this year that we've seen the Cork backs, or even the last 2 years, so discomforted. You know, if Sean O getting caught in position, it's like Wexford all over again.
If Cork win this match, then you can hear the interviews afterwards. We never panicked under pressure because they are under pressure.
Well, they are under pressure.
And they are panicking.
What Clare is doing is they're doing it one-to-one. They're doing a Jack Charlton. Everyone's putting them under pressure, especially the Clare half-forward, full forward. And they're walking and walking their socks off. And like they're upsetting Cork, the short passes are breaking down and it doesn't work for them. But the worrying thing is they're only 2 points behind.
Yeah, but what I liked about Clare was at one stage Cork brought it back to a point. They got a free, got a point, and Clare came up the field again. Andrew Quinn got a point. I mean, every time Cork did something, Clare came back and hit them with it.
Yeah, they got great scores from outside. All the Clare full forward on is very dangerous. Here you're going to see Quinn's point. Like, this fella has been going very well in training. As Jersey before the start of the game, here's Jim McMahon strong under the ball. Yeah. He's carrying through now. He's great presence here to go down the middle and knows where Quinn is. Doesn't even give a little flick across here. Andrew turns back, bang, straight over the bar. And as you said, Michael, they're answering every score with scores like that. But like,
and watch where Quinn is here now. See where he is. He's corner forward inside here, left corner forward. There he's away out in the far wing. They're moving around. There's a lot of movement. Great support play. Daly has been brilliantly coached for this. This is the first time I see, including our own time, that I've seen Clare forwards moving around so much, supporting each other so much, laying off the ball to the loose man and taking scores. It's brilliant stuff.
When Cork did get the break for a possible goal chance, of course that man Davy Fitz was in there, but Cork probably could have done better with this, not taken away from Davy.
Tom Kenny could have done better. I thought he should have gone for a point, and we were all saying he should have gone for a point.
I thought he should have passed
into Jordine inside, you know. Here's Tom Kenny, a typical Tom Kenny run from midfield that he did so well last year. Now he's forced onto his left, he hasn't a good shot on his left. You see Dean there completely loose. He hasn't the vision to see him. He just gives it a tap to his hurley. Now Fitzy saves it very, very well because he catches it on the bounce before it gets any. Just as it hits the ground, he saves it before it comes up. But Davy would never let in a goal like that. It just shows you how rattled Cork are. Yeah. Last year, Tom Kenny going through like that, he'd pick out Jordine like a flash and the ball would be in the net. Yeah. Cork are really rattled.
They are, and yet, early on in the game, they look fine. They got a couple of lovely, classy points as Cork can. Like Timmy McCarthy got a lovely point. Sean O'Halpin came up with one of those rousing kind of scores that run up the field.
Yeah, well, like Timmy is under trouble, a lot of pressure because every game he plays he's nearly taken off. He's probably looking over his shoulder again. Now, like here, you're going to see this ball come up here. He catches this ball here. Niall McCarthy is tossed over, a little flick across here to Tim, he just gets it, it's a great, he's 65 or 70 yards out, it's a great shot over the bar. You'd imagine that had put him in full flow, but he hasn't been able to get away from David Hoy, and against the puck, all this causing the problem. Here now, this is an inspirational point. Sean O'Halpin goes up the pitch, he cuts right down to the middle. Again, now he's kind of looking around mid for lads to move loose, but there's no one coming to him, so he bangs it over the bar. But going back to Gers, like to Tom Kenny, you'd imagine that he had found Jordine go for a goal, but there was no way you're going to beat Fitzy with that kind of shot, and he did the right thing, tipping around the post, because he tapped it back out, just 2 Cork forwards away.
But you know the surprising thing here, the confident team here is Clare, and they're not the All-Ireland champions. Clare are playing with superb confidence. They're the ones in charge. They're the ones that own the field out there. Cork are the team that are under pressure. When you see Sean O giving away a freeze for Nahead to get the ball away, when you see the whole Cork full back line converging on a high ball, blocking it out to a Clare forward coming in, that's a sign of a team really, really rattled. And if Clare, the big question, of course, now that we all have is, can Clare keep up this momentum, this savage work rate they have? If they have...
You have to be very fit now for this game.
That's the big question.
I'm sure, and all their fans must be asking themselves at the moment, can Clare keep this up? Is there a chance for Cork to come back and get into this semi-final? We'll find out second half coming up after the break. Now, we all know how special the All-Ireland hurling final is, not just to people here at home, but to all of those who live abroad and travel home annually to see it, be it from America, Australia and so on. So, knowing then the huge effort that people make to attend the final, we at the Sunday Game have teamed up with the official sponsors of the Hurling Championship, Guinness, to give one lucky viewer the chance to bring a relative or friend home from abroad to attend this year's final. No matter where in the world they are or currently living, Guinness will fly them home for the final in September. The prize also includes a pair of match tickets, overnight accommodation and an evening meal for two. So that's an absolutely brilliant prize. Now, to enter, all you have to do is to text the word home, followed by your reason why your friend or relative should be chosen as the person who comes home for the final. Text that to 51101. The entries must be no more than 12 words in length. Now, you can also enter by emailing your reason to homeforthefinal@rte.ie, and do note that entrants must be over 80 years of age and that the person nominated must be over 80 years of age and, of course, have a valid passport. Flights will be, of course, subject to availability as well. Closing date for entries is 6 p.m. next Sunday, that's August the 21st. Terms and conditions are available on RTE Airtel, page 195, or at www.rte.ie/the Sunday game. And the very best of luck with that fabulous prize. Question is, will they be coming home to see Clare or Cork in the final?
That's
a big question. I was just thinking there that apart from the Munster final, in all the other games this year, Cork have been behind. They have fallen behind and they've dug themselves out of it. So you can expect a massive assault now from Cork in the second half. They see where they are now. They're out of the championship if they don't really force the pace in the second half.
But Gerald, they can't come into this game unless the half-back line midfield start hitting the ball. 3 times they've been blocked down, 2 giveaway frees. You can't, it's suicide. I'd say John Allen is going.
But they've been doing that all this year. Over-elaboration.
You have to play more direct. Jody, no ball going in there.
Waiting to pick out a man instead of letting it go.
Nothing happens. So they'll be looking for direct ball, get it in there at least. Like Clare,
what's the Clare getting the ball?
90% of the play.
Bang, they'll just get it and bang it into the full forward line. And when it's in there, it's dangerous. It's no dangerous in the back in your own half-back line.
Well, we saw a great football match here yesterday, of course, between Dublin and Tyrone. There's over 50,000 people here today. They're going to ratchet up the entire atmosphere for this second half, so it's going to be a humdinger.
Oh yeah, it's a great game, and yesterday was a fantastic game to look at. It was what the GA is all about, and even the first game today was a great game to look at. Okay, the standard might be as high as what we've out here, but great scores, and the game was level so many times that hard to know who the call was going to win. Now Cork will be very upset at half time. They're not playing kind of up to their standard at all. They're dilly-dallying on the ball, and Clare closing down one-to-one pressure. Everyone is working their socks off of the Clare team to do what they're doing. They have to be very fit for 70 minutes.
I was just going to say they're working so hard, Ger. This is a big thing.
That's what I was just saying.
They've
worked so hard. It's very hard to keep up that for 70 minutes. But you know, they have such enthusiasm. You know, they're fired up.
Yeah, and Jerry,
we're watching Colin Lynch and Lohan there on the ball going. They're driving each other on. Clare can't keep it up, and Clare often finish very good in the last 20 minutes. Now, what I would be afraid of is that Cork will bring on Neil Ronan and Kieran Murphy. You know, if they bring on those two, I don't know why they're so slow in bringing them on. You know, they need to make a change. They should have made a change before half-time.
But who would you bring them on for, Joe? So
well, I'd say Niall McCarthy and Timmy McCarthy.
Let's watch the helmets coming out to see can we spot anything, because Cork are coming back out onto the field.
The traditional thing is to wait the first 5 minutes. We'll give you another 5 minutes, lads, and we'll see how it is going. That's the traditional thing.
You have to say like in the first half that the Clare players are putting their body on the line. They're putting their bodies in, taking the bells, whereas Cork are trying to play this fancy stuff.
He's on for Cork now. We're just waiting to see who's replacing. He's replacing Timmy McCarthy, I understand.
Yeah, well, that's what we were saying. That was going to be. They wouldn't bring on two together probably, but they'll bring him on first. Yeah. And they need to bring him on. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to centre forward, because he plays very well centre forward on Ken McGrath here the last day. But Cork lack energy today.
Well, the thing that will worry Cork fans is, I mean, they're taking off Timmy McCarthy, fair enough, but I mean, he's one of the 2 players in the forward line who scored from play.
Ryan Corcoran hasn't scored.
Joe Genius.
No one is playing fantastic. No ball going into Gene. He hasn't touched the ball maybe once. Kieran Murphy,
2 points in
well, that's outside, but like one of them is line ball. Kieran Murphy got one touch over the bar, but they'll have to get more ball in there. If Clare can keep going the way they're going, they're going to take some beating. But like, you'd sense that Cork are going to come into the game at some stage.
We'll have to keep Robin Gerard locked down for the second half of this one, I can tell you. Let's go back again to Tomas and Ger.
They used to always say that the one match nobody ever wanted to lose was the semi-final of the championship. Okay, to lose the final is awful, but at least you get to play in it and you get to share in the drama, the big day. Everybody wants to be there. One of these will be. Will it be Clare, who lead right now by 2 points? Second half underway, and it's Kieran Murphy who has got to left half forward, by the way. That is the Éireann zone left half forward as a replacement for Timmy McCarthy, the half-time sub. Meanwhile, Tom Kenny coming through, not the best of shots, poor option. Both sides will be absolutely fired up for the first few minutes of this second half. That you could be absolutely certain of.
Yeah, and I mean, Ciara Murphy came on the last day against Waterford as well and did very well. I mean, he's there, I'm sure, for his height and his physique. I mean, for the puckouts particularly, and I mean, Cork will need a big second half out of him, and certainly, I mean, Timmy McCarthy's gone off, but there are other guys out there as well, I'm sure, that, I mean, that need to up their performance considerably as well, because like the game is going with Clare at the moment. They seem very lively. There's a spring in their step. They're confident now that they can actually go on and win this game.
Well, Cork are the Munster and the All-Ireland champions. They're dare to be knocked. Clare putting it up to them as John Gardner sets up this attack. Davy Fitzgerald had to be absolutely secure, holding on with Joe Dean lingering, and the ball never came to Dean. There was no chance there for him to put it into the back of the net. Pressure still on the Clare backs. Frank Lohan cursing his luck, couldn't quite take it up and get rid of it. But that was good goalkeeping again by David Fitzgerald. It didn't look as spectacular as the save in the first half, but it was just as vital.
It was vital as well, but I suppose, I mean, it was a direct ball again in by John Garner. That was the nearest Joe Dean we saw coming to the ball in maybe 35-36 minutes of hurling, and Cork got to be more direct in the second half, get the ball in around the square every time they get possession.
That's Jerry O'Grady, and who got the last touch there? It was Tony Griffin. No complaints from Tony. Line ball to Cork. John Allen on the sideline along with Anthony Daly, just urging on their charges for one really good last 35 minutes. Jerry O'Connor ready to cut the ball up. Good connection, drop down there. That's O'Grady again, who's marking Joe Dean. Does a good job, gets the ball away. Ronan Curran under pressure with Tony Carmody, strong physical presence there. John Gardner trying to help out, kept it in play. Jerry O'Connor back there to Pat Mulcahy. Lobbed in over the head of the back David Hoey that time. Brian Lohan favoured to come out to take this one. What a match Lohan is playing. The man about whom so many questions were asked, but it was mostly about pace and the amount of hurling that he'd played over the years. In particular after the loss to Tipperary against Micheál Webster on that occasion. It was a very, very tough afternoon for Brian Lohan. He's trained hard, he's worked hard, and he had the character to come back and stand out there and be severely tested. David Hoey's sideline cut. Good ball down towards McMahon. Was there a push? There was. It's going to be a free out to Cork. Chance for them to launch yet another attack. They've had 2 attacks so far in the opening 3 minutes of the second half. No scores coming from them. Diarmuid O'Sullivan from Cloyne. Inside his own 45-metre line. Cork with a light breeze behind them now for this half. And again it's Brian Lohan. It's like 95 all over again. But 10 years on, he is still delivering the goods. Diarmuid McMahon. Great ball. Donald O'Cusa coming secure, just as Davy Fitz was at the other end. Up to John Gardner. Pressure back on the Clare backs. Back in once again. This time it skids on the ground and runs harmlessly out over the end line. And there was nothing whatsoever that Brian Corcoran could do about it. Hasn't scored, hasn't had too many chances, as much as anything because of this man here, Brian Lohan. But also, I think, Tomas, because, as the panel were saying, and we all agree, the ball simply isn't going in fast enough.
Not fast enough. I mean, again, all right, I mean, Brian Lohan is playing very, very well in the full back line, and there's no doubt about that. He's reading it very, very well. I mean, he came across there, great catch and great clearance as well. But, I mean, Cork are struggling in a lot of areas around the field, and certainly, I mean, maybe I know they made the change already. Maybe like they're probably giving 5 or 6 minutes to another 2 or 3 players there before you'll see other changes.
That's gone out over the sideline. Once again, it's a Cork ball. Clare having to weather the storm now in these opening minutes of the second half as Pat Mulcahy shapes up here to Alan Markham. Colin Lynch also coming in with his top and safe knee work.
Yeah, I mean, Clare were thinking there that this is their line ball, you know, so again, to be interesting to see again, I think it was a clear ball, to be honest with you.
Well, Michael Wadding is the linesman down on this near side. Michael from Waterford. He read it as a Cork ball, looked to Clare ball. John Gardner's take, mishit it towards O'Connell, robbed. Jerry O'Connor trying to take it. Colin Lynch busy as ever, outstanding on ceremony, getting in the challenges. Mulcahy nursing it back to Diarmuid O'Sullivan, half block. Mulcahy again lashing at it. This time it runs on towards Kieran Murphy, beaten for it by Tony Griffin. It's a mad dash for possession. Everybody just trying to get on the ball. It's Niall Gilligan who has it. Hook brilliantly there. Wonderful hook. Still persistence by Gilligan. Kieran Murphy got the hook in. This is Griffin. Dangerous situation for Clare. Shortens the grip on the stick and puts it over the bar. It's the opening point of the second half. It's taken 5.5 minutes to produce, but it's Tony Griffin from Balliyah who gets his third point of the game. 10-7. Cork under pressure again here. David Hoey raiding the wing back. Not the best of connections. Partly stopped there by the fullback Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Here's Donald O'Cusack. Looks around. Goes for a long, lengthy clearance this time. Up towards Joe Dean on the full forward line. In there, behind them, is Frank Lohan, pressurised by Ben O'Connor. It's still Frank Lohan coming out. A look of determination. Looked up quickly. Tony Griffin couldn't hold it. It's a line ball to Cork. Griffin got a really good point that time after Cork should have cleared their lines but failed to do so.
Yeah, and it could have been a goal, Gerald. I mean, it was a great ball back by Niall Gilligan into the centre, and he was running in at pace, and I mean, if he had actually got the first touch right there, he was right bang on goal to have a shot and have a pot at going out Cusack.
Daly urges them on. Griffin has had 6 shots at the target. He's scored with 3 of them. That's a good return. That's a challenge there into the middle of Ronan Curran. I'm not quite sure he was shoulder to shoulder. Comes back out here once again to Jerry O'Connor, taking on 2 Clare men. Up towards his twin brother, Ben. Tripped. Gets up quickly. Spoons it back into the corner once more. This time it's Niall McCarthy. Great defence by Clare initially. Still managed to get the ball in. It's dangerously in towards Jodine. Batted down for Davy Fitzgerald. And the Clare goalkeeper gets it onto his stick and walks it away downfield. Listen to the crowd again. Lifted by that. Great catch by Alan Markin. He's got a lift as well. Up towards Diarmuid McMahon. Clare by 3. Early stages of the second half. Inside towards Gilligan. Niall Gilligan wins the duel with Diarmuid O'Sullivan. They're winning the battles all over the field. Diarmuid O'Sullivan protesting, but Clare have an edge. They've had it from the word go, and the fans believe it's going to be possible, that this will be their day. Long way to go yet. With the notebook up and his notebook out, and he's shown it there to Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Checked for his troubles. Free to Clare.
Yeah, and there's no doubt about it, Ger. There is a hunger and there is a desire in this Clare team to win this match today, and it's not been matched by Cork on the other side, and certainly Clare now are in a great position if they put this one over the bar.
It's another one from Gilligan. That's 4 points from Freeze. And Clare open up a 4-point lead. 11-7. Cork just haven't quite got that hunger this afternoon. They haven't quite had it this year, in spite of winning the Munster title just last month. But you never know. There's a long way to go. Niall McCarthy blocked down, taken away from him by Brian O'Connell, one of the youngsters, still under 21. This time it's another youngster, Brian Murphy for Cork, stopped by Colin Lynch, the old warrior. Little hand pass inside to O'Connell. They have a good duo in midfield, working for Clare. It's a huge one from distance, and it's over the bar, and it's Brian O'Connell who gets his first point. Well, Cork may have started the half as though they meant business and had a couple of chances, didn't take them, and now all of a sudden it's Clare again. Back comes John Gardner, stepping away from trouble inside Tony Carmody. Outside it goes to Kieran Murphy. Chasing after him is Jerry Quinn near the sideline. Kept it. Oh, he didn't. Michael Wadding has the flag raised, says he's over the line, and it'll be a line ball for Clare. Well, whatever it is about hunger in sport, if you haven't got it, it's impossible to produce. Your second day at school is never quite like your first.
Oh yeah, and there is still a long way to go yet in this game, but I mean at the moment you would feel that Clare, right? I mean there is such a hunger and a drive, and they're getting the crowd behind them now at this stage as well, you know, and it's a big ask of Cork now to get back into this game. They need some leadership qualities now. They need the big men to stand up, and certainly the selectors maybe need to be making 2 or 3 changes at this stage as well to bring on fresh players, because the guys that are out there certainly are not producing it at the moment.
There aren't any goals in the game so far, obviously, at 12-7. Cork probably need a goal pretty soon. If Clare get one, well, that could be the gap that would put it beyond Cork's reach. The decibel level rises again. 50,596 have paid in If you're from Clare, you're loving it. They are. Ben O'Connor has discarded the black helmet to take the sideline cut. Trying to link up inside with a colleague. Kieran Murphy couldn't take it. That's the Erin's own version. Comes back out towards the other Kieran Murphy. This time it's Jerry O'Grady. Only one Jerry from Currafin. Gets it out there towards Tony Griffin. Trying to steal a march on John Gardner. Stepping in Niall McCarthy, whipping on it. And in the end, it's gone out over the sideline. It's a line ball to Clare. So line ball to Clare to be taken by Colin Lynch. Colin Lynch ready to hit this one. That's midway between the two 65s. 12-7. Good connection. Nice ball into Tony Carmody. Getting away from Ronan Curran. Hitting it high and hitting it accurately.
Yeah, they're inspired. They're absolutely inspired, and great performers all over the field. And Tony Carmody, certainly Tony Griffin getting those scores from play. I mean, they're fantastic scores. And
4 shots in the second half to loss. 4 scores.
4 scores. I mean, we said maybe at the start of the game that Clare wouldn't have the forwards, but they're producing the goods today.
If you've got the hurling skill and the hurling know-how, irrespective of whether you're champions or not, it's when you produce it out there. Tom Kenny right now, trying to go through yet again. Clare en masse converging on him. 13 metres out from goal. Brian Corcoran trying to make some headway. Colin Lynch going in there. Aided and abetted by Frank Lowen. Back into the stick there of Sean McMahon. And in the end it's Lynch. And Lynch drives it away down towards Gilligan. Helping it out here is McMahon. This is Diarmuid McMahon. Back out towards Tony Carmody. First touch wasn't good. Forced outside again onto the perimeter. Still Carmody. Just holding up the point of the attack. Lobbing it inside there. Diarmuid O'Sullivan leaving it for Markham one-handed. Referee allowed an advantage. Coming out there and challenged high was Pat Mulcahy. Surely there's a free out. There is. Just watch this again here.
Yeah, it was a bit of a high challenge differently, you know, and I mean, he's trying to lift the guys. Pat Mulcahy here, look, you can see him in his approach there now. He's trying to drive it on, but I mean, it's not happening for them today, and it's the style of hurling today, Joris, coming against us. We were lacking a bit of directness. I mean, Tom Kenny went through there with a ball. I mean, the chance to put the ball over the bar and lost it in the end. I mean, we're just maybe taking the wrong options.
Cork haven't scored for 15 minutes of this game. Do you remember when Cork were All-Ireland champions in 1999 and what happened the following year in the semi-final against Offaly?
That's right. There's no doubt about it. When you win an All-Ireland, it's even harder afterwards to actually retain it. And this game isn't over yet. I mean, there's still plenty of time to get back into it, but at the moment you would say it's looking good for Clare.
We lead by 6 points. Diarmuid McMahon having got a ticking. It's going to be a free to Cork. And pressure now on John Allen and the backroom team to come up with the solutions. Ben O'Connor, 2 points from frees, well, 1 from a sideline. And that is over the bar, and it's Cork's first point of the second half, and it's taken nearly 14 minutes of this half alone.
I mean, that's the most worrying aspect, Gerard. I mean, okay, if we were a couple of points behind and you are scoring, but we're not getting the scores either, you know. I mean, to get 1 point in 14 minutes at this level isn't good enough.
Cork just not playing well, not being allowed to play well by a Clare team that have energy and resolve in abundance. Wayne Sherlock was it Wayne Sherlock? Neil Ronan, in fact, and Wayne Sherlock both being prepared down by the sideline. Could be a double substitution. Meanwhile, it's Frank Lowen playing into Kieran Murphy, out towards Andrew Quinn to Colin Lynch. Well, that would have been a magnificent point. He loves hitting those huge ones from out the field. And when they drop to the right or to the left, well, I'm sure he feels pretty awful afterwards.
Yeah, he's got himself into very good positions today, and I mean, maybe hasn't had the shooting boots on.
Brian Corcoran has been taken off the Cork team. Ronan Curran is also leaving the fray. Neil Ronan has come into the forwards, Wayne Sherlock into the backs. Well, that's Brian Corcoran, so many times a star this afternoon. Didn't quite work out for him, and Ronan Curran taken off for the second match in succession. It's a statement of fact by the Cork selectors. It's a brave, big move.
It's a big move. I mean, okay, Ronan was under pressure at centre back, but it's a big move for taking Brian Corcoran off as well, because there was a lot worse than Brian out there as well in the forward line.
Joe Dean hasn't scored so far. They need a lift, they might get it, and Dino has done it. Joe Dean from Killa, making it 13 points to 9. Clare still the leaders, and still looking good at this stage in the contest, but there's a long 20 minutes of the match still to play.
Well, it has been good for Cork over the last two games, Joe. When the test has been asked of them, they have finished the games well. I mean, they've upped their game considerably with 15 minutes to go. They need to do so now.
So Cork have made 3 changes from the 5 they're allowed. How will they work out? John Gardner's gone into centre half back. Many people say it's his best position. Here he is, linking up with Brian Murphy. Up towards Ben O'Connor. Instinctively hitting it, knew where the target was, and it lands inside the upright. It's over the bar. 4 points for Ben O'Connor. Both sides need to hold the celebrations. There's a lot of hurling to be played, and there's only a goal between the teams. Colin Lynch, by the way, has gone down with an injury, a leg injury.
Well, that was a fantastic score, inspirational score by Ben O'Connor, and I mean, that's if you want to score to inspire a team, that's certainly one is, and get more ball into Joe Dean and into Neil Ronan now, and put the pressure on Clare, and they have a chance to get themselves back into this game.
Well, we're watching this. Donald O'Cusick has gone way out the field, out to have a chat with Niall McCarthy, and there he is in picture right now, cheeing up the players. I've never seen him do this before. I think he was getting fed up with what was happening. Colin Lynch has a calf injury. Now, if he were to get into serious injury trouble, Clare would face a major difficulty. Clare have been the better team for the first 50 minutes of this game, in my view. No question about it, in fact. Those last 2 points have rallied Cork. The selectors have taken a big gamble. Everybody said they didn't take gambles. They have.
I know they made the decisions, George. I mean, they were asked to make decisions because, I mean, the team wasn't performing. They've done so. I mean, Brian Lohan had been dominating around the square as well. There's no doubt about that. I mean, Neil Ronan has been brought in with a purpose, is to run Brian Lohan as much as he can around. And he's proven in the past. He's agile. He's very, very fit. He's lively on his feet as well. And maybe that will work. Maybe that change will work.
That went off shot of O'Halpine stick. The effort by Diarmuid McMahon to link up with the inside forwards. It'll be a line ball to Clare. David Hoey ready to take it. Nobody marking Colin Lynch. Ben O'Connor slow to get in the challenge. Pressure now on Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Both teams would be lifted by the points they've scored in the second half so far, by the fact that the game is hanging in the balance, by the fact that Cork's title is there for the taking. And right now Cork are countering. Neil Ronan hammering it in, but it's far too easy for David Fitzgerald. No real threat to his goal there. John Gardner comes, great catch. 65 metres out from the Clare goal, nonchalantly striking it, sweeping it beautifully over the bar, and there's just 2 points between the teams. John Gardner's second score. Well, you know, the way the second half has gone so far, Clare got 4 in a row. Now Cork have got 4 in a row themselves.
I mean, we're talking about leaders, and I mean, that move put Garner back into centre back is paying off. And I mean, that was a great catch by him, a great run of defence, and a great strike off his left hand. And I mean, if that doesn't lift the Cork team, I don't know what will.
Fergal Lynch is being prepared by Clare in the restructuring of the Cork team, by the way. Pat Mulcahy's right half. This is into Joe Dean, ready to take on his man O'Grady under pressure. Joe Dean strikes an acute angle. It's over. Joe Dean's second point in about 3 minutes. It's 13 points to 12, and all of a sudden it looks very ominous from a Clare point of view. Cork look to be heading out of the championship, and right now they're hanging on in there and looking very lively with 15 minutes to play.
Yes, I mean, it was all about getting the ball into Joe Dean, and it was a great delivery up the field again by Tom Kenny, and Joe Dean does what he can do best, is get out in front of his man and get possession, get her over the bar, and they're causing problems now to the Clare defence.
Tony Carmody, by the way, is changing his boots. That's what he's doing down there. The number 29 is Fergal Lynch. So he's obviously having a boot problem. And the Cork fans are now suddenly beginning to enjoy it. 13-12, a fascinating contest.
Next score is crucial.
Runs all the way through to Andrew Quinn. Is this the next score? It is! Quinn's second point. Clare lead by 2. The ball just broke beautifully for him, and he had fantastic confidence to wallop it over the bar. Interesting thing here, I am noting that Anthony Daly was planning to take Andrew Quinn off and replace him with Fergal Lynch, and now he's changed his mind. At least he has for a while.
Just for the next couple of minutes anyway, unless he gets the next ball.
Frank Lowen misses. Taken down here. Kieran Murphy trying to get the ball through here. Outside it goes towards Neil Ronan. On the angle where he scored in the last match. An impossible situation then. This time it's over the bar. And one between them again. Neil Ronan once more coming to Cork's rescue. It's his 13th championship match. A man who made his debut 6 years ago, and this afternoon getting his first, his 16th ever in championship hurling. 14 points to 13. Clare still leading. Place in the final next month at stake. A magnificent battle between two great hurling powers as Cork put their title on the line. Ball bounces awkwardly there for Jerry O'Grady. Went back, 2 Cork players against him. Dean and Ben O'Connor bottled up there, waiting to get a free, didn't get it. Jerry Quinn. Winning it here is Pat Mulcahy, and that's going to be a free in. Alan Markham looked at the referee, he's already being checked, and the referee will take out the notebook now and issue a yellow card, I think, against Clare's number 12. First yellow card of the match. Free to Ben O'Connor, 45 metres out, bit of an angle. Chance to level the game with nearly 58 minutes gone. Well, now, who has got the level of energy and the determination? He's got great determination to sustain it for 70 minutes. And Ben O'Connor has put it wide. A bad miss. A let-off for Clare, who's still shaded. John Allen still with the problems to resolve.
Credit, I suppose, Jar, I mean, it is a much better Cork team now. It is a much better, they have responded. I mean, to get themselves back to a point when the game seemed to be going away from them, and Clare were absolutely flying at that stage. I mean, there's good credit to them. They have worked very hard to get themselves back into the game.
I'm crediting both teams. They've given us a fascinating contest. Quinn in there to try and battle with McMahon. That's Diarmuid McMahon. John Gardner once again trying to take it onto his stick. It's Diarmuid McMahon instead. The shoulder coming in from Sean O'Halpine. John Gardner coming to help out. There's Tony Griffin. Good ball inside. Once again it is Tony Carmody over his left shoulder, and it's beautifully over the bar. Tony Carmody swings over a 4th point. It could be a crucial score as we approach nearly an hour gone. That's 4 from 4 for Tony Carmody, who really has found his confidence this season.
Yeah,
15 points to 13.
Fantastic score. I mean, off his left hand, high ball out of the air, to pluck it out of the air and turn off his left. A great score.
That is Fergal Lynch has come in. That is Alan Markham who's gone off. He's just got himself a yellow card. The manager finally deciding which one of the forwards was going to make way. Neil Ronan came out for that one. He's left it behind to Jerry O'Connor, who's taken off the green helmet to his brother Ben, and that's over the bar, and it should have been in the back of the Clare net. It was as good a goal chance as they're likely to get, but it's 15 points to 14.
Yeah, when you see the ball coming through, you would say, was Jerry going to throw over the bar, hands it across the bin, and you would say, God, this is in the back of the net. Too high and over the bar, but point will do certainly.
That should have been a goal. Other goal chances at the other end for Tony Carmody. Tony Griffin coming onto it. He's moving brilliantly. Lovely footwork, great composure. Into Tony Carmody, and coming across there was Tom Kenny. It's still Clare. Batted out in the end there by Wayne Sherlock. Comes out here. John Gardner. That is Jerry O'Connor, tripped free to Cork. Clare still leading.
And this could be crucial, Gerald, in the last 10 minutes is the pace of Jerry O'Connor, a breaking ball there around the middle of the field, being able to get away from his marker. And we mentioned whether Clare could sustain this pressure for the full 70 minutes, and I mentioned already that Cork have the habit of finishing, even though they haven't played well all year, this finishing very, very well, and it's the pace and the fitness levels have increased, and certainly it's beginning to come like that at this stage.
John Gardner. It's going slightly to the left, trying to keep it in play. They succeed. It's Kieran Murphy who kept it in play. Neil Ronan trying to pick it up. Look at the number of Clare backs around him, but it's still Neil Ronan. Good composure, good style. Brian Lohan after him. It's still Ronan, different kind of threat for Lohan, but their support and the forces are back there, augmented by Colin Lynch. O'Halpine brilliantly taken down, getting away from Diarmuid McMahon. In some difficulty, Clare coming forward. That's Wayne Sherlock wearing number 18. Near the sideline, linesman on the far side of his flag raised. That is Johnny Ryan from Tipperary. And it's a line ball to Clare.
Yeah,
chance to put some more pressure on the Cork backs.
Great hustling again by Clare. Cork had possession there. Sean Hogg again. I mean, guys breathing down on top of him, not giving him an inch, and I mean, put him under pressure to actually, and the hand pass was intercepted going across the field.
Understandably, the neutrals all around the country will be supporting Clare. They were the outsiders very much coming into this tie as David Hoey belts it in there. David O'Sullivan goes for it. Wayne Sherlock trying to get it onto his stick. Clare there in numbers. It comes to Tony Griffin, forced out towards the sideline. Blocked down by a combination of O'Halpine over there and one of his support colleagues. There's going to be another change. Jonathan Clancy is going to come on in place of Brian O'Connell. So Jonathan Clancy wearing number 27 coming into the action. Got a little bit of championship experience during the all-important qualifiers, which is the platform from which Clare have been able to build, sustain a challenge. Colin Lynch, that's wide. It was a chance to plant it in the Cork goal area there and cause a moment's hesitation or doubt in the Cork backs. Failed to materialise. Colin Lynch's wides, looking at the statistics on my pad here, 5 wides he has hit so far. A lot of wasted opportunities. Meanwhile, it's Ben O'Connor expecting the challenges to come in. Frank Lohan's after him, still trying to hook him. Does well. Really good play, and the ball is driven out by Jonathan Clancy, who's just into the game. Tom Kenny taking it for Cork. One between them, 15 points to 14. Clare the leaders. Out to Colin Lynch. Only about 7 minutes to play. Diarmuid O'Sullivan takes it. The champions are in difficulty as they've been for most of the match. How will they respond for the last 7-8 minutes? Huge one down. Brian Lohan brilliantly taken. Wonderful stuff by Brian Lohan. Linking up with his brother Frank. And Frank outside here to the wings towards Andrew Quinn. Speculatively lobbed in here. Should be the goalkeepers and is. Diarmuid O'Sullivan tripped just in front of him, back on his feet once again here to wallop it away downfield. Possession now vital. No goals in the game so far. If there is one, you feel it would be crucial. Here's Neil Ronan, forced wide once again. Still Ronan trying to take on Jerry O'Grady. Here's a good chance. Hooked brilliantly by O'Grady right on the baseline. Again, it's Cork trying to pressurise. Comes back here this time to Jerry O'Connor, and Jerry O'Connor, cool as you like. There was a chop down. The referee has blown his whistle. There was a chop down as that play was developing, and it's going to be a free downfield for Clare.
Yes. That's a crucial decision. I mean, a great defensive play again by Clare, and particularly Jerry O'Grady there. When Cork were, Neil Ronan had rounded him. I mean, great interception, because I think he had goal on his mind.
Well, Cork had a couple of goal chances, but as you say, that is a crucial decision now by referee Dickie Murphy. Just when Cork would have felt that they were in for a point and that it should have been 15 all.
Yeah,
he'll be disappointed.
To see that one again.
Well, the referee saw a chop down. Hard to see it from here, I have to say. Free out to Clare. Davy Fitzgerald. 4.5 minutes of the 70 to play. Batted out there this time by Mulcahy, out into the centre to Tom Kenny. Again, Cork mounting another attack, only 1 point adrift. It's Jerry O'Connor once more, rounding Colin Lynch. Looking for support. Again, they go with a short hand-passing movement, aware of the positioning there of Andrew Quinn. This time it's Mulcahy, not a noted scorer. He's back normally in the full-back line. Centre-half when he plays with Newton Chandrum. He's put it wide. The wides mount up. That's a total of 8 wides for Cork. Anthony Daly now just minutes away from engineering a victory over the Munster and the All-Ireland champions. It's still possible for both of these teams. Cork are about to make another change and about to bring in Jonathan O'Callaghan. Who will he come in for? Just a few minutes to play. Once again, the ball forward there by Kieran Murphy. Held by Neil Ronan. A threat for any one of the Clare markers. Jerry O'Grady nearest to him. Ronan feeding it beautifully into the other Kieran Murphy. Awkward angle, miss hit completely. It's gone wide, and Clare still hang on by their fingertips to a 1 point advantage in the Guinness All-Ireland hurling semi-final. It's Kieran Murphy from Sarsfields who's going off, and the man who's going to come on is Jonathan O'Callaghan.
Yeah, what a chance for Kieran Murphy there to equalise. I mean, it's a point he should have, certainly it's an opportunity that he should have taken, and whether he was going for a goal or not, but I mean, certainly a point is on.
Davy Fitzgerald ready to launch this one, giving it everything he has. Pressure on Sean O'Halpine, the Cork captain, keeping it along the ground here. Once again, there's Jerry O'Connor this time, one of the twins. Quick look up to see where's the support coming from. It's Niall McCarthy trying to cut inside, looking for the equaliser. He's got it! Level for the 4th time, and Niall McCarthy answers his critics with his first point of the semi-final match. And it's 15 points for Clare, 15 points for Cork. Niall McCarthy ties it up at Croke Park. Cork haven't led in this game since the 20th minute, a long, long time ago. A draw yesterday in football, a draw right now in hurling. Who's going to win it? John Gardner taking it down, showing steely determination, crossing the 65-metre line, hand-passing it ahead here towards Jonathan O'Callaghan. Just in, miss hit, runs all the way through, controlled by the goalkeeper with difficulty. David Fitzgerald, pressurised by Neil Ronan, still manages to get a clearance in, out into the centre. Tony Griffin's moved out there into the centre. Well, now who's got the necessary wherewithal to finish off this match? Niall Gilligan was hooked. Jerry O'Connor takes it. Couldn't quite control it, however. They try to get the ball up, Clare. Again, stalemate in the centre. Heading into the last minute of the 70. Cork come forward, and Cork lead, and it is Jerry O'Connor. The Garda, based in Anglesey Street, in the centre of Cork, has put Cork in front with his second point of the match in the very last minute of the 70.
Yeah, and I mean, that's been a crucial ball by Tom Kenny to win there. 3 or 4 players around it. The ball broke to Tom Kenny. He comes in and breaks and gives the hand pass to Jerry O'Connor. And Jerry has played brilliant stuff there in the last 10-15 minutes. Breaking ball around the middle of the field. He's been fantastic.
There'll be 2 extra minutes. 2.5 minutes so to play. Are Clare to be denied? That would be a real heartbreak for them, considering what they have given us for the 70 minutes so far we've witnessed. They've been every bit as good as Cork, but that business about sustaining it for 70 minutes, that is the crucial thing. Plus the number of subs that Cork have been able to bring on, subs of real quality.
No doubt about that. I mean, Cork were in the need was greatest. They've reacted and they've made the changes, and the biggest one I think has been putting John Garner into centre back. I mean, that has been a crucial move by the Cork selectors, and certainly if they're to go on to win this match, I mean, I think that's the move that has won them the game. But I mean, it's early days yet. I mean, we saw a draw yesterday. Who's betting that it won't be a draw today?
Is there a Clare response? Remember, they took the lead in the 21st minute of the match. They've now just lost it in the 69th. It's 16 to 15. Jerry O'Grady put under pressure by Ronan and by Dean. Who's to reach the final? The referee's whistle has sounded. Clare are in a hurry. They want to take the free quickly. They'd have been happier if they'd won possession of the centre of the field, just to challenge Cork a bit more down the other end. Davy Fitzgerald, no more determined man, wearing the colours of Clare.
I'd say this maybe is the last chance for Clare to get the equaliser.
This is the end of the first minute. There'll be another after this. Cork go up for it. And it's the man who's put them in front, Jerry O'Connor, who's got it. Brian Lone challenged by Joe Dean. It breaks out here. Neil Ronan chasing after it with Jerry O'Grady. We're inside the last 50 seconds at this stage. 16 to Cork, 15 to Clare. Referee going to throw the ball up. Possession now is absolutely crucial. Cork need to retain it and force the game towards the Clare goal. Clare have to get the ball. Anthony Daly knows that. Cian O'Connor is being prepared to come in. That might just waste off a second or two. He's not on just yet. 20 seconds to go. It's Jerry O'Grady who's taken it out there towards Colin Lynch. He's missed a lot. Can he get away from Jerry O'Connor? It's Colin Lynch leading the charge of the banner. They're behind by a point. Great defensive work by Cork. Griffin outside to Lynch. There might be one last chance for Colin Lynch here. It's awkward, it's going right, and it's gone wide.
Yeah, and I think that was the chance, Jordan. Whether Dickey puts on another bit for maybe the injuries there, certainly you would think that that was maybe the last chance that Clare had.
And he knows it. 16-15. The 2 minutes of stoppage time has been played. Cork, the Munster, the All-Ireland champions from 2004, are just seconds away from next month's final. Towards Brian Lowen and Joe Dean. It's gone forward here to Kieran Murphy. There's a chance to tie it up completely. And a great save by Davy Fitzgerald from Neil Ronan. They're still playing away there, playing their hearts out. Niall McCarthy trying to get the ball up. It doesn't matter anymore because Cork have won. Cork have beaten Clare in as titanic a clash as you could wish to see in Croke Park in the Guinness All-Ireland Hurling semi-final. Full credit to both teams. It's a shame there had to be a loser today because just like yesterday, nobody deserves to go home broken-hearted. And Clare are right now, and Davy Fitzgerald is furious. Clare are downhearted. Dr. Con Murphy going in there to sympathise with Colin Lynch. John Allen and his selectors made the hard, the tough calls. They brought John Gardner into centre-half back. They were up against a Clare team who were leading them since the 21st minute of the match. O'Donnell O'Cusack wasn't beaten, nor was Davy Fitzgerald. Both sets of fans will go home feeling they have witnessed a really, really good match. But it's the Cork fans who will have the shorter journey, the happier journey, because with Jerry O'Connor coming to point in the 69th minute, his second point of the match. And before that, Niall McCarthy, who levelled it up with his first, round about the 68th minute mark in the game. And after all of that, it's Cork who get to come back to Croke Park on the second Sunday in September to defend their title against either Kilkenny or Galway. Full-time score here, it's Cork 16 points, Clare 15. Let's go down to Dara Maloney.
The Cork captain Sean O'Gahal being here with me. Sean, what a game and what a result for you guys.
Yeah, I suppose Dara, it was a job getting out of jail really today. Definitely Clare put it to the pin of O'Connell today. We expected that, we knew that. It was looking very doubtful there when they went 6 points ahead. We weren't in the game whatsoever, playing second fiddle. But I suppose, a bit of character comes out in the end. And
consolidation's the name for us, you know, that's the name of the word for us this year. And to get to another final is, you know, it's a great bonus, but, you know, we have an awful lot of work to do. But, you know, my heart really goes out to Clare. They gave it everything.
There was a massive moment in the game. It just felt like a huge moment when Corcoran and Curran were taken off. It was a brave move by the management. They needed to do something at that time.
Yeah, to be honest, Dara, we need to do a bit of rejigging because, you know, things weren't working up to then. To be honest, either fella could have been, you know, I mean, anyone could have been taken off, whatever. It was a big call by John. But I suppose, you know, it seemed to lift up the Clare crowd when the two boys went off. But in hindsight, it kind of, you know, rejigged us, and, you know, we got a bit of momentum going, and I think we got a couple of points unanswered, which was crucial towards the end. And, you know, towards the end of the game, you know, we could have got, we got a couple of goal chances, you know, and Clare kind of didn't really get any goal chances, you know, today. But, you know, I suppose it's a great performance by everyone today.
There was an amazing scenes toward the end. Everybody was just being carried along on this red wave, point after point going over.
Unbelievable. To be honest, I know where some of the fellas got the renewed spirit today. I mean, we were really down and out today, Dara, looking for divine inspiration somewhere. I was looking for the Lord to come down and kind of put on a red jersey today. Maybe he did in the end, but it was just we got on the momentum, and you know, in the previous, when we got on the momentum, when we get the momentum going, you know, we seem to play our best hurling, which we did, like, you know, and we kind of open it up, and where Clare were dominating in the, you know, the high department. We kind of tried to keep it down around the decks or whatever, which we did, and, you know, a couple of guys, you know, reveled in it today, like the O'Connors or whatever. Tom Kenny, Joe came into the game, Neil Ronan, great substitution, you know. In these games, it's the fellas less known that come up trumps, like Neil Ronan did today for us. Yeah. You know, replacing Brian Cochran, who's been a legend, like, you know, for Cork over the years or whatever. But very relieved, very relieved.
Well done. Pleasure to watch it. Thanks, Sean. Thank you.
Well, there's absolutely no doubt at all about it. Up the Rebels, the banner says, come on Cork, they're in the All-Ireland final. It is the true mark of champions, that when they're under the kind of pressure they were today from Clare, that they did come through in the end. If there was a boxing match, somebody would have thrown in a towel surely before the end of that one. But that's what it's all about. That's what the game of hurling is about. Gerlach Nan, I can see the disappointment written all over your face. But I suppose, first of all, let's compliment Cork. As I said a moment ago, the mark of champions is that they take everything, and they took everything.
They're not champions for nothing, and they're not in the last 3 All-Irelands for nothing. And apart from the players on the field, you know, the character the two midfielders showed at the end, but the character that John Allen showed as well. We were critical at half-time that made changes faster, but they made the change that won the match, and putting John Garner at centre-back, having the courage to take off Ronan Curran, Hull of the Year last year, if you like, and Brian Cochran. Brian Cochran. Have the courage to take off those and put on two fellas. But having said that, I've had disappointments as a player and as a manager, but I haven't felt as disappointed after today, because I'm so proud of every one of the Clare players and of Dalo and the job he did with the Clare team today. I can't remember, even in my own time, a team generating the kind of heat that Clare generated today. They couldn't have done more on or off the field in order to win the match, except that today they met a true championship team who edged it by 1 point.
They did, sir. I've never seen a team play so well and lose a match.
Well, they had a lot of play, but Michael, as I was saying to you at half-time, they had so much play and only 2 points up. Now, they went to 4 or 5 up, but you see, you have to admire Cork. John Garner went in centre-back. Wayne Sherrick came on corner-back. Well, Cahy went out wing-back. The biggest call of all, Brian Cochran coming out, being taken off, being the inspiration all year, putting on Neil Rowan. He just hadn't the legs for Brian Lohan. Now, Brian Lohan had a fantastic game, Frank Lohan. But these changes, all of a sudden, you had Tom Kinney and Jerry Connor driving through. Yeah. Garner started to catch him, and they were scoring in from outside. It wasn't inside, like, you know, now they got a chance to have a goal near the end, but they never looked like scoring goals. But it was that kind of a game. Joe Dean very quiet, but next he popped over to Ronan, popped over to. All of a sudden, they were in the momentum. And even in the end, you'd love a draw, really. A draw would have been a fair result to the match, but Clare just couldn't get the ball down in the end. And like,
it was so like yesterday's game in football. Like, it was an epic ebb and flow game. Fantastic score. Like, what a weekend it has been for the two games in the GAA for football and hurling. Was there ever a weekend where the two combined or dovetailed so much into absolutely epic games? And everyone going out of here will be disappointed going home, but we'll also appreciate we met a champion team today, and we're really, really proud of our own lads going down the road to Clare tonight.
Okay, gentlemen, listen, thank you for your thoughts on that. We'll let the two lads get a moment's rest and gather their thoughts further, because we'll have more from Cyril and Ger on today's semi-final.
Coming off together, you were 5 points down at the time. You had to make 5 points down at the time. You had to make the call, though.
We had to make the call, yeah. Like, we would have been killed, really, or lacerated if we didn't. I mean, as you said, we were 5 points down. The game seemed to be slipping from us. 29 people in our panel. I mean, it was a case of, what do we do? Do we throw in the towel, or do we try and do something to stem the tide? And, you know, some days they work and some days they don't, and today the changes worked.
They certainly did, and in spades. It was an amazing, the scenes as you poured forward, red attack after red attack, and the points were coming for you.
They were, but, like, you know, by our own standards, we certainly hadn't played. We hadn't played in the first half. You know, credit to Clare. Clare played with huge tenacity. They hunted in packs. They closed us down all the time. We weren't allowed play, maybe, you know, but we felt we certainly were second to the breaks. We just weren't doing what we were good at doing, or, as I said, weren't allowed to do it. Second half, we hit a few wides, looked to be okay, you know, and then suddenly, you know, not suddenly, maybe cleared the point, and then we were 5 points down, and it was a case of, you know, there's 15-20 minutes left. What do we do here? And you know, we made a few changes. A lot of our players who were quiet by their own standards stepped up, and we got some magnificent points. We missed some easy enough chances, and I mean, it was a great game, I take it, you know, and like, the result was added to it.
How do you manage the tension of all those things at the end? Because it was very, very tense.
It was very tense, yeah. I don't know, really. It was tense, but what do you do? Like, do you walk away, do you sit down, like, and say, look, I can't take any more of this? But it was very tense, I have no doubt, and it was a great game. And, you know, I'm sure lots of unbiased people, or people sitting on the fence, or Clare people, would say maybe a draw would have been a fair result. Given that it was such a great game, maybe a draw would have been a fair result, but, like, I'll take the win anyway.
And you're back in the All-Ireland final.
We are indeed, and it's magnificent. You know, it is, the month's build-up, as anybody knows, for that All-Ireland final is tremendous. There's great hype in the county, and there's great, you know, there's a lot of very positive things go with being in an All-Ireland final, and I'm just thrilled that we're back in it.
Well, enjoy the month. Enjoy today. Thank you, John.
Season. Tonight, one county celebrates their presence in this year's All-Ireland hurling final. Defending champions Cork were aiming to reach their third All-Ireland in a row when they faced the talented Clare side. Before that, the Christie Ring Cup final saw two sides battling it out for the honour of playing in next year's All-Ireland series. And yesterday, the boys were back in town as a near-capacity crowd were in Croke Park for Dublin versus Tyrone. Good evening and welcome. We'll also reveal who won the Man of the Match awards from today's games in Croke Park, and we'll see the main scores from last night's All-Ireland minor hurling semi-final between Cork and Galway. Our comment line is open if you'd like to raise any issues. Just text the word GAME, followed by your comment to 53555, or email us at thesundaygame@rte.ie. Pete Finnerty and Michael Dignan are with me to discuss the hurling, and later on I'll be joined by our football panellists, Tommy Lyons and Anthony Toll. Well, we'll start with hurling, and this afternoon, Cork played Clare for a place in the All-Ireland final next September. The Rebels were strong favourites to advance, but they were taking nothing for granted against the resurgent Clare side. Ger Canning and Tomas Mulcahy are your commentators.
Starting with whatever light breeze there is supporting them for the opening 35 minutes, and straight away here they are defending with Jerry O'Grady trying to get the ball away out into the centre. Colin Lynch sweeping it way down. Donal O'Cusack coming from his goal. Secure, doing a quick turn around, linking up with the two-thirds of the full back line. That's Brian Murphy, hot to handle. And there was an early pull there, a jersey pull indeed, by David Hoey on his man being Timmy McCarthy. So Dickie Murphy, who has of course refereed 4 All-Ireland senior finals, wasn't involved for the last 2 years because he was a selector with the Wexford senior hurlers. Good to see him back, that familiar smile. This is John Gardner. 70 metres out, gone to the right. First opportunity, gone a-begging. John playing in his 17th championship match. Davy Fitz thinking about a quick puck out. The puck outs are going to be very interesting this afternoon. Keep a really good eye on them. We know all about Cork's penchant for taking short or deliberate puck outs and then building in measured fashion. Well, Clare have been studying this very carefully all through the summer. Let's see what they can do. Straight down the middle towards their centre forward, Tony Carmody. But it's won there instead by Jerry O'Connor, who went deep. O'Connor challenging Colin Lynch, beaten. Lynch has it, 70 metres out. Going for the opening score. Again, it's tailing to the right. A wide apiece. Down towards Brian Corcoran, beaten for it there. He runs away from him. Jerry Quinn. One of the best defensive covering players that Clare have got this year. They were trying to make some headway over there. And that is Brian O'Connell who's down there. Not the best for wear. John Gardner was spoken to by the referee.
Yeah, you know, watch it here again. Look, it is body charge straight into the midriff, really, and there's no doubt about it. It is a free in for Clare.
So Niall Gilligan coming out to take this free, looking for the opening point of the match. Gilligan playing in his 39th championship game, 29 points so far in 5 games this summer, for a Clare team who must be confident on the back of 2 good wins over Waterford and Wexford. It's a dangerous ball in. Falls back down here, Dermot McMahon, 20 metres out, half blocked. Still around there, dangerous. And Tony Carmody hits it and puts it over the bar. The opening point comes after nearly 4 minutes of play. A lot of dominance from Clare. They've won a lot of good early ball, and finally they managed to get something out of the possession. Tony Carmody here at the end of this movement, left alone, just given enough latitude. Good score. The puck out is a long one. Brian Lowen there contesting with Brian Corcoran. Niall McCarthy dodging this way and that. Taking over is Jerry O'Connor, 45 metres out from goal. That's over the bar. Good score by Jerry. Davy Fitzgerald varying the puck out this time, out towards Markham, runs beyond him, all the way in towards Niall Gilligan, looking for a really big match this afternoon, taking on Pat Mulcahy. Back there as well to try and help out is Ben O'Connor. Runs loose towards Tony Griffin. The much-travelled Tony having a shot and putting it over the bar. Great point by Tony Griffin. Man who has spent so much. Tom Kenny getting back onto it again. The little hand pass inside to Timmy McCarthy. Beating the attempted block there. Sean McMahon, the huge one. It's a good one. It's over the bar. Timmy McCarthy from Castellions tying it up at 2 points apiece. This was a very good score. Made for him there by Tom Kenny on to Timmy McCarthy, and he had the confidence and the courage to go for it. Into the centre, Ronan Curran again makes a very good catch here. Started well against Waterford and then got into difficulty. Curran available once again, taking it up onto the stick, beating Tony Carmody to it. Jerry O'Connor is available to help out. Here comes Shallogo Halpine. He's 45 metres out. O'Halpine has scored the last day, looking for another one, and O'Halpine has got 2 points in 2 games. Not half bad for a number 7. Here's Tony Griffin, outside to Alan Markham. Cork leading for the first time. That's blocked well by Donald O'Cusack, outside to O'Sullivan.
Yeah, and you look at Markham here. I mean, I think he should put the ball over the bar, being honest with you, when he got that chance.
Here comes Andrew Quinn on his left-hand side, going for a score. Again, he's missed it. And the Clare shooting is not good. Only 15 minutes gone, and they have 5 wide.
Yeah, they're getting plenty of possession. I'm sure Anthony Dale will be furious down there.
Inside there towards Tony Griffin, breaks down here well. Gilligan once again, pressurised by Jerry O'Connor. Seemed to go off O'Connor, it did. It's the first 65 of the afternoon. Now where's that going to end? It's over the bar. It's a big lift for Clare. Here's Kenny. Through the middle once again, Tom Kenny. It opens up for him, and it's saved brilliantly by Davy Fitzgerald. A wonderful piece of goalkeeping. It should have been buried. There was a support player there, Joe Dean, but Tom Kenny went through. The connection wasn't the greatest, but credit the goalkeeper. Good save. Down towards Brian Corcoran, ready to try and take on his man, who's the other Brian Lowen. and Brian Lone gets in his stick, makes the clearance, it's effective, and it keeps Brian Corcoran at bay. Sideline cut here by Ben O'Connor. That's over. He's a wonderful exponent of that art, and it's a second point for Ben O'Connor. There's Diarmuid McMahon. His striking of the ball has got much, much better this summer. Link play is good. Markham over. It's Andrew Quinn indeed. Timmy McCarthy's jersey was pulled initially, but it goes back there as far as Tony Carmody from a huge distance out. It's over the bar. Great point by Carmody. Well, Cork still trying to come forward with Kieran Murphy here, trying to lower the gap. He's succeeded. His first point of the match. It's Niall Gillingham who has it. Hook brilliantly there. Wonderful hook. Still persistence by Gilligan. Kieran Murphy got the hook in. This is Griffin. Dangerous situation for Clare. Shortens the grip on the stick and puts it over the bar. It's the opening point of the second half. It's taken 5.5 minutes to produce. The old warrior. Little hand pass inside to O'Connell. They have a good duo in midfield. Working for Clare. It's a huge one from distance. And it's over the bar. And it's Brian O'Connell who gets his first point. Out there towards Tony Griffin. Trying to steal a march on John Gardner. Stepping in Niall McCarthy. Whipping on it. And in the end, it's gone over the sideline. It's a line ball to Clare. 12-7. Good connection. Nice ball into Tony Carmody. Getting away from Ronan Curran. Hitting it high and hitting it accurately.
Yeah, they're inspired. They're absolutely inspired.
Cork haven't scored for 15 minutes of this game. Do you remember when Cork were All-Ireland champions in 1999 and what happened the following year in the semi-final against Offaly?
That's right.
It's from freeze, well, one from a sideline. And that is over the bar, and it's Cork's first point of the second half, and it's taken nearly 14 minutes of this half alone. Out towards Andrew Quinn to Colin Lynch. Well, that would have been a magnificent point. He loves hitting those huge ones from out the field. Brian Corcoran has been taken off the Cork team. Ronan Curran is also leaving the fray. Neil Ronan has come into the forwards, Wayne Sherlock into the backs. Well, that's Brian Corcoran. So many times a star this afternoon. Didn't quite work out for him. And Ronan Curran taken off for the second match in succession. It's a statement of fact by the Cork selectors. It's a brave, big move.
It's a big move. I mean, okay, Ronan was under pressure at centre-back, but it's a big move for taking Brian Corcoran off as well, because there was a lot worse than Brian out there as well in the forward line.
Joe Dean hasn't scored so far. They need a lift. They might get it. And Dino has done it. Joe Dean from Killa, making it 13 points to 9. Up towards Ben O'Connor. Instinctively hitting it, knew where the target was, and it lands inside the upright. It's over the bar. John Gardner comes, great catch. 65 metres out from the Clare goal, nonchalantly striking it, sweeping it beautifully over the bar. And there's just 2 points between the teams. John Gardner's second score. Well, you know, the way the second half has gone so far, Clare got 4 in a row. Now Cork have got 4 in a row themselves.
I mean, we're talking about leaders, and I mean, that move put Garner back into centre back is paying off. And I mean, that was a great catch by him, a great run out of defence, and a great strike off his left hand. And I mean, if that doesn't lift the Cork team, I don't know what will.
Fergal Lynch is being prepared by Clare in the restructuring of the Cork team, by the way. Pat Mulcahy is right half. This is into Joe Dean, ready to take on his man O'Grady under pressure. Joe Dean strikes, an acute angle, it's over. Joe Dean's second point in about 3 minutes. 13-12, a fascinating contest.
Next score is crucial.
Runs all the way through to Andrew Quinn. Is this the next score? It is! Quinn's second point. Clare lead by 2. Frank Lowen misses. Taken down here. Kieran Murphy trying to get the ball through here. Outside it goes towards Neil Ronan. On the angle where he scored in the last match. An impossible situation then. This time it's over the bar. And one between them again. Neil Ronan once more coming to Cork's rescue. There's Tony Griffin. Good ball inside. Once again it is Tony Carmody over his left shoulder, and it's beautifully over the bar. Tony Carmody swings over a 4th point. Neil Ronan came out for that one. He's left it behind to Jerry O'Connor, who's taken off the green helmet to his brother Ben, and that's over the bar, and it should have been in the back of the Clare net. It was as good a goal chance as they're likely to get, but it's 15 points to 14.
Yeah,
One between them.
When you see the ball coming through, you would say, was Jerry going to throw over the bar? Hands it across the bin, and you would say, God, this is in the back of the net.
Davy Fitzgerald ready to launch this one. Giving it everything he has. Pressure on Sean O'Halpine, the Cork captain, keeping it along the ground here. Once again, it is Jerry O'Connor this time, one of the twins. Quick look up to see where's the support coming from. It's Niall McCarthy trying to cut inside, looking for the equaliser. He's got it! Level for the 4th time, and Niall McCarthy answers his critics with his first point of the semi-final match, and it's 15 points for Clare, 15 points for Cork. Niall McCarthy ties it up at Croke Park. Heading into the last minute of the 70, Cork come forward, and Cork lead, and it is Jerry O'Connor. 20 seconds to go. It's Jerry O'Grady who's taken it out there towards Colin Lynch. He's missed a lot. Can he get away from Jerry O'Connor? It's Colin Lynch leading the charge of the banner. They're behind by a point. Great defensive work by Cork. Griffin outside to Lynch. There might be one last chance for Colin Lynch here. It's awkward. It's going right, and it's gone wide. Towards Brian Lowen and Joe Dean. It's gone forward here to Kieran Murphy. There's a chance to tie it up completely. And a great save by Davy Fitzgerald from Neil Ronan. They're still playing away there, playing their hearts out. Niall McCarthy trying to get the ball up. It doesn't matter anymore because Cork have won. Cork have beaten Clare in as titanic a clash as you could wish to see in Croke Park in the Guinness All-Ireland Hurling semi-final. Full credit to both teams. It's a shame there had to be a loser today, because just like yesterday, nobody deserves to go home broken-hearted. And Clare are right now, and Davy Fitzgerald is furious. Clare are downhearted. Full-time score here. It's Cork 16 points, Clare 15.
Just on a given day, sometimes the gods smile on you. You know, we had luck in the past, I suppose, you know. Tight games, we won't come out the right side of it by a point and got draws, and today we come out the wrong side of it, but we just must accept that and get on. That sport, and I suppose that sometimes that's life, and you must plough on.
I have to ask you about Brian Lohan. He was incredible today.
That's the fella that should have hung him up 4 years ago, is it? He was majestic. He was Lohan, who was a legend. He's a legend, and I imagine writing that man off. You're paying those people, Lee.
But I know you're disappointed, but very, very proud of the effort that your players gave today.
Absolutely, totally and utterly proud of the whole panel. 32 guys there, gave us absolutely everything.
We dug deep, true champions, dug deep, dug it out in the finish. Fair play to them.
Anthony Daly's a legend, right? Clare are far from gone, right? We will be back. We will be back.
In fairness, maybe a draw might have been a fair result, because Clare definitely gave a great game. But Cork for the All-Ireland.
I think the gods weren't with us. At least we should have a draw got out of it.
We didn't play at all in the first half, but when the subs came on, we all started moving, and when Gardner went centre back, things changed. Up Cork!
What a fantastic game of hurling, and half-break for Clare, but Cork are through to the All-Ireland hurling final. We'll take a break, come back. I'm joined by Pete Finnerty and Michael Duignan. Michael, did we get the best hurling game of the year today?
No, definitely, in my opinion, Pat. I think it had everything, really. It was my type of game. It wasn't high scoring, 16 points to 15. Both defences probably on top throughout, but total commitment from both teams. Clare, brilliantly led by Lohan and Davy Fitz at the back, did everything right for 50 minutes, 6 points up, looked to be going on to win it, and then Cork turned it around and showed what great champions they are and finished like a train. And really, both sidelines did very well, made good moves, and really you couldn't fault anybody that was involved today.
But come here, traditionalists will say, and there's a lot of them in Cork as well, will say this our running, shot-passing game is not hurling, it should be left to the footballers.
Yeah, it didn't work for Cork for a long time today, and you know, when they did move the ball more direct in the last 20 minutes, I've been saying it all year.
It's not hurling, is it?
Well, I prefer to see them moving the ball quicker into Joe Dean in particular. He got no ball in the whole first half today. Got a few balls in the last 15 minutes. He scored a couple of points. Neil Ronan scored, Ben O'Connor scored. They have to be playing more ball in there. So, yeah, I go along with that. I prefer to see them moving the ball quicker.
Pete Loughnane said Clare couldn't have done any more.
Yeah, I'd agree with Ger on that one. I thought Clare were fantastic. They came in today, everybody was hoping they were going to bring a lot to the table. They came with a game plan. Anthony Daly had his homework done. They had the champions on the rack. They were there 6 points up at one stage. If they were guilty of anything, they were guilty of missing a lot of chances in the first half. It was a game that had everything. Went down to the wire. It was just a
But Pete, we've seen it in the
loser.
football as well. At the intensity that Clare were playing, you couldn't have kept it up for 70 minutes.
You couldn't really have kept it up for 70 minutes. And Clare played with such passion and such force in the first half. They should have been far more than 2 points ahead at half-time, and that's probably where they actually lost the game. They went on in the second half and they went 6 points up, but there was always going to be a period in the match when Cork were going to have their purple patch, and they had it. The best period that you can have it is going into the last 15 minutes, because you get a run on a team and they're not able to do it. And Cork are an extremely fit team. They're All-Ireland champions. They're in their third All-Ireland All-Ireland final in a row, and you have to give them credit. They're coming on subs that'll win a game for any team.
Michael, Clare dominated that first half. Had they a game plan?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, they would have looked at Cork carrying the ball and they would have said we're going to close them down. We look here at Sean O'Halpin, great wing back coming out, bottled up straight away, ball blocked down. Again, Sean O'G, we're not picking on Sean O'G tonight, it happened all over the field, but again, Sean O'G coming out, caught in possession again. And you watch, there's 3 and 4 Clare players in the picture all the time, and a free given away there. Here again, simple ball back, Pat Mulcahy gets it, tries to barge his way out, and again, over carrying in the end. But watch 2 Clare players all the time on him.
Pressure.
And as you say, that's a very, very hard game to keep going for 70 minutes. But the other thing about Clare today in that period was their discipline. Joe Dean never took one free today. He takes all Cork frees from 50 yards in. He never got a free today. He never fouled down the other end of the field, played with total discipline, but that takes a lot out of you physically, and maybe the legs got tired in the last 15 or 20 minutes. He only scored 2 points in that period, and that's when Cork were dominant.
Pete, Clare dominant. There was only one team in that first half, and that was Clare. Yet at half-time, Cork, without playing at all, were only 2 points down. Why was that?
Well, Clare had 70% of the play. I think they created 22 chances and only took 10 of them. Again, it was their shooting at goal. We see a few opportunities here. That was probably one of the harder points. But we saw some chances directly in front of the goal that they didn't take. And as I said, when you have this dominant period, you have to put All-Ireland champions under pressure. And Clare didn't take the opportunities they fell to them in the first half. They couldn't keep up the pace. Balls like that into a goalkeeper, he has all the time in the world to look up and place it back 70 yards down the field.
It was unfortunate on the day. Tony Carmody and Tony Griffin in particular came of age today. They scored 7 points between them. Like Cork's top scorers scored 2 points each, Joe Dean and Jerry O'Connor. The boys scored 7 points, but you know, Colin Lynch had 6 wides today. Normally he put them over. And so unfortunately when those 2 players hit, you know, they had their best ever games in Croke Park. Some other lads didn't have their scoring boots with them.
Listen lads, Cork were 6 points down with 22 minutes to go. dead and buried. So what brought about that transformation?
Well, there's been a lot to talk about it, you know, during the match and since about John Gardner's move to centre-back, and I'd agree. I thought he was very influential. David Fitzpatrick didn't help in the fact that he poked maybe 3 or 4 puckouts down on top of him, but Gardner was a huge influence. I think then also to start hitting direct ball into the full forward line. Like, here's the use of a hand pass to get out of trouble, that's fine. Brian Murphy makes space and then looks up and a good ball up the wing. And that's the first ball really that they played into space all day, and Ben O'Connell gets it and quick looking over the bar. And they started playing more direct ball in. Tom Kenny comes onto a ball here, whips it on the ground and into the full forward line.
Yeah, the Cork forward line. Joe Dean was starved in the first half. He didn't see a ball all day long. Brian Corcoran probably got 2 or 3 balls between himself and Brian Lohan that Lohan won. But Cork were tied up in the half-back line. They were over-elaborating. They were getting blocked and they were getting hooked. But if you give a ball like that into Dean in a corner, he'll skin anybody.
But he's just going back to the system again, this running shot passing game. The fact that it worked last year doesn't mean it's going to work this year.
Well,
are the opponents getting clued into it?
It was counteracted by the Clare spirit. We all know that when Clare play in your face, they're going to play with great passion, and they're very hard to stop. And that's what they did today. But in fairness to Cork, you asked me the last time they played, Cork don't do panic, and they don't do panic. John Allen made a great decision. He took off Tom Curran and he put in John Gardner at centre back, and suddenly the game had changed. Or Neil Ronan at centre back.
The other thing was that the Clare got tired. That running game, okay, it mightn't look great, but you're chasing Harry and closing him down takes its toll. And Clare only scored 2 points in the last 25 minutes, and Cork went to town. You know, so just shows you eventually. Jerry O'Connor in particular, in the last 20 minutes, he really showed great leadership, and Ben, and you know, they put them away.
Listen, we had a couple of texts and emails in about a Niall McCarthy incident. Rhino from Tipperary said, how in God's name did Niall McCarthy get away with smacking the linesman's flag clean out of his hand? Disgraceful. Or the second one, Niall McCarthy should have been red carded for the chop down on the linesman Michael Wadding's flag. Haha, up the Dacia. Let's have a look at it, lads. What happened?
Well, I don't know the exact rule on it, but you know, the ball went out for a line ball. Niall McCarthy, I'd say, was frustrated at this stage. Sean McMahon, he pulls a wild stroke enough there, and the ball goes out here. Line ball.
He was totally frustrated at that stage. He pulled a wild swipe there. Ball goes out. Michael Wadden puts up his flag, and he just puts it completely out of his hand. But the funny thing about it is that Dickie is only within 10 steps of this, and he appeared to be looking over in that direction as to see what was happening. So he took absolutely no action against it.
Is there a rule about damaging property to GA?
Well, I don't know about that, but you know, there was times when Michael Wadden was reffing matches I was playing, and you might want to give him a dig, but you have to have respect for the officials, and there was no respect there, and Dickie turned a blind eye to it. You know, it's all very well, but you're asking young lads and over club teams to have respect for officials, and that happens and gets away with it. It makes you wonder what's going on.
Briefly, lads, do Cork look like All-Ireland winners? They haven't put a 70-minute performance yet. Is that a fair comment?
They haven't been beaten over 70 minutes either.
Fair point.
It is a fair comment, but you know, they're doing enough, they're getting through their matches, and I think that match will bring them on a lot today.